although he starts playing here. So, does anybody want to give like a kind of a brief recap of what happened last time, just to kind of refresh our memories? Do you all remember what happened last time?
Didn't we were gonna go try to find this griffin, right? Isn't that what we were doing?
No, we did
Yeah,
that.
you're off to a terrible start.
We already killed it, and we got like 6 eggs, I think.
Yeah.
I just love it that it's
I didn't die.
it's a griffin instead of being a wyvern like it actually is.
Oh yeah. Or wyvern, yeah. That other thing that's gonna kill us. Yeah, that thing.
We got back into town. We delivered our charges to the wizards, and we spent the last session bumming about the tavern, whose name I have forgotten.
The Inn of the Welcome Wench.
The Welcome Wench, and we're getting ready to go out and get some wyvern eggs for Burn, and we are deciding whether or not to try to recruit Spudnoir to come with us as a meat shield because he deserves it.
There was some local dispute about about the prisoners, like the townspeople want them in prison, not hired, I guess, or something.
They want them to stand trial for their crimes. The militia members, for the most part. That faction. Yeah, so I'm going to take a quick step back here because Grey Ash, when you went, you went back to your room that night when that sort of squabble was happening, and Spudnoir, at some point while you kind of had, gotten yourself out of that area, Spudnoir came to your room, and you received a knock on the door. Grey Ash!
Come in,
Spudnoir.
come in.
He comes in, he's got that bandage
well.
on his head, from being knocked out. It's a fresh bandage now. He's definitely looks cleaned up. He's had a bath and all of that kind of thing, and his robes look a little bit finer. You do notice that as he walks in, he has a pretty thick leather side, like satchel, basically. Looks like it could hold like a big book. And
okay.
It's kind of beat up. It looks like he's traveled around a bit with it. And he says, "I'm sorry to disturb your studies. I too have no desire to get involved with what the townspeople are doing."
Me also. So I'm
He says, "Well, he says, I have to admit, I've not been entirely honest with your group. I am a sage's apprentice. Well, I should more accurately say I was a sage's apprentice. Before I decided to give that up, I am now a magic user, a wizard who is. I was honest that I was seeking knowledge, but truly I was seeking magical knowledge. After the encounter that I had with those foul mercenaries, however, I see that the adventuring life is not for me."
At least you did not lie about your qualities, unlike the backstabbers, the others.
He says, "Yes, well, as I said, I have no desire to go out into the fields again, but I am interested in attaining new knowledge, and I've noted that you, too, have an interest in learning new spells. I thought perhaps we could consider making a trade.
If possible, yes. I've got a small collection. Are there any schools you aren't able to get your head around?
He says, no, my training is mostly self-taught. I came across books as apprentice, sage's apprentice, and taught myself. So I am more of a generalist wizard, you might say.
Good. I've never quite got the hang of illusions myself. Some I've got a few that could be useful. Is the what do you have currently? I don't want to waste your time.
Actually, look at that right now. In fact, oh, hold on.
I could show him get the spell book out. He's already looked at it and not thought much of it. It's like obviously, as you could tell your previous lookings, might take a little while to get this to a state you can understand.
Now that is true, but I'm willing to do the work. He says he says no doubt when you look at mine, my hand will also seem odd to you.
Interesting.
All right, let's see here.
What's the requirement? Is this intelligence above 16? 16 or greater?
His intelligence is not 16 or greater.
Okay. Because that's the requirement to be a wild mage. You need 16 intelligence or more.
His intelligence is 15.
No, it's just short of perfection.
He says, I have looked at your book and I can't remember if you have the sleep spell, but I do have that.
I do not have sleep. I would like it. It's very, very useful to reduce bloodshed when unnecessary.
He says, sadly, that is the only spell I possess that you do not already have knowledge of. I have only been able to teach myself detect magic and read magic thus far, in addition to sleep. But if you would trade one of your spells for sleep, I would be grateful for the trade.
I will give you. I'll give you two. One to protect yourself, and one to maybe find what you're seeking in the future. I can trade you armor and divining rod.
He says, you are generous. He says, I would be grateful for that. All right, yeah. So if you want to, he'll if you want to do, research that spell over the course of the, from his spell book over the course of these couple of days while you're waiting, I figured I'd give you an opportunity. 'Cause aren't you trying to do? You bought some other one?
Yeah, that armor and hypnotism was the ones we got from the scroll.
Right. And did you already roll to learn those?
Yeah, I rolled for those. I passed both of those ones. So I need to roll for sleep, right? Which is, I wrote this down, 70%.
It's always a scary moment.
When am I ever going to find a wild magic spell, in the wild, to try and learn to actually get
especially
the bonus?
it's terrible because we're playing in Greyhawk where there is really no wild magic, but I don't care. So I'll let it. We'll have
I rolled 14, way in margin, so that's
Alright,
fine.
so it's a pretty. I mean, actually, looking at his clear hand and his it's very straightforward, very dry for you. But it's pretty easy for you then to learn. And so he's gonna try. Let's see here.
Do divining rod first, I guess.
Yeah,
It's
divining
a fun
rod. He
one.
does. Ooh, and he does not get armor.
He doesn't get armor?
Only failed 84%. I rolled for him, so that's all right.
You can keep trying that, like, he has to gain level, but...
Yeah, well, this NPC, I don't know how much level.
He's just gotta try harder.
Yeah. So anyway, you do that. He's disappointed that he couldn't understand armor, but he's grateful to have gained a new spell. And then he makes it, you know, like he basically kind of says his goodbyes to you because he's going to head out on a caravan and going back to Verbabonk. He has no interest in being out on the outskirts of civilization, dealing with bandits and the potential terrors that go along with everything that's been going on. He's after his short adventures, he has no interest in continuing on. So he basically says his goodbyes to you. He doesn't really have any connections to anybody else. So he might, like, you know, not necessarily be rude about it, but he probably would just tell you, Greyhawk, just to say his goodbyes to everybody. You know, and if he happens to run into any of you out as he's leaving, he'll be friendly about it, but he ends up taking a caravan back to Verbabonk. And so ends the adventures of Spug Noir. Alright, so, yeah, if you want to adjust your spells, memorized spells to give it your change. Did anybody else want to do anything in that couple of days period? Like, did anybody go looking for new armor, buy new weapons, do anything that we didn't talk about last session? That sounds like a no on that. All right, so
what did you want to do about the he wanted some cowhides blessed. Do you want to do it per cowhide?
I feel like it's gotta, like, it's just a strip of cowhide, but I feel like each piece needs to be blessed. It just seems like it's not about the I think it needs the whole magic.
You want me to do experience points for that?
Yeah, sure. Hell yeah.
How many do you want, Grey Ash?
At least 3,
Okay.
maybe 5
We'll do
over
5.
the week. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is how
So
you get
I've already
XP.
used
This is how you level.
I already used up 3
Oh,
of
I know.
them, so I still got 2 more. 2 blessed leather.
Okay.
Cool. I'm not sure if everyone I gave it to can use it, but, you know.
Armor?
Yeah, because I gave it to 3 people. I think one of them.
Well, you gave it
is
to
wearing
JB, and you gave it to. Did Ren get one?
Maybe. Why did I say that?
Because I don't think you. Who else did you give it to, other than Ren and yourself?
What channel did this say this on? Okay. Me, Ren, and JB, yeah.
Okay, so Ren did get an armor spell.
I think they have leather armor, but, you know, maybe
Yeah.
that's a timely one. Because Rygar already has their own, right? They still got it on them from day 1. Or something.
All right, so I can't remember. Did anybody get mounts? Or are you just heading into the?
recall. I think we talked about it, but we didn't come to a decision.
Hmm.
All right, so you've spent a couple of days, and you kind of had agreed that you're going to go after the wyvern eggs, and so you'd spent a couple of days, just doing what you needed to do, getting things taken care of, resting, maybe getting a bath and taking some time to pray to your gods, or whatever it might be that you wanted to kind of spend a little bit of time on, getting some good food.
Yep.
And drink and just enjoying yourselves. You get to the and so you kind of had a day that you said, okay, we'll all get back together. We'll just say I'm just kind of filling in the blanks here, but we'll say you all had a day. You decided you get back together one morning to head on out, and Byrne had said that the wizard Byrne had said that it's probably about a half a day into the area where the wyvern has been kind of, they suspect it's hunting, because there's been as I mentioned last time, but as Byrne mentioned, there's been a couple of there's been some livestock killed, like on these sort of fringe farms, borderland sort of farms that are kind of pushing out away from, pushing further north into like the Cron Hills and the edge. It's basically the area where the Cron Hills and the gnarly forest meet. So it's sort of hilly, and it's got these. It's nicknamed the gnarly forest because it has these like twisted and tangled tree shapes. It's not quite certain as to what the reason is for that, but the trees are sort of twisted and strange in their shape. And the Cron Hills are a sort of a hilly, grassy area, but it's something that has overtaken what was at one time this is probably like it was like an ancient mountain here or something, because there also are sort of like large, almost like monolithic kind of stones here and there, that can create these occasional sort of like canyons and caves and things like that, like built into it. So you're kind of at the meeting of these two areas as to where this wyvern was supposed to be hunting around, and so you have about a half a day's journey. You end up coming out the morning that you're supposed to meet. You come down to the common room at the Inn of the Welcome Wench, and maybe you're eating some rashers of bacon and some maybe there's been some fresh duck eggs brought in, the fresh loaves of bread, just kind of getting ready to hit the road again. You've probably, after a few days, sort of forgotten how horrible it is to just be like out on the road and like sleeping on rocks on your and like not eating real food. You're eating like getting ready to eat tack. So you're eating like this, nice meal. Who knows? You probably only be gone for a day, but who knows how things go when you're adventuring. So the morning is a bit overcast, and you might even say that there's kind of like a misty drizzle, but it is also warm. It's the springtime, so the mist doesn't actually feel bad. And the overcast isn't like, so it's not like foggy or anything like that. It doesn't really impede vision too much. So what's your plan of action? Like, what are you thinking in terms of how you want to go on this expedition from that setup? All right, don't everybody talk at once.
Best way to do is to just, hit the road, get there as quickly as we can, and scope the place out so we have plenty of time to plan our route inside or around or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I'd say on foot myself.
So you're essentially going to try to track it then. I'm assuming Ren is probably going to take the lead on that.
That's probably going to be the best way to go.
All right, so I'll say, you start making your journey out of town, out of Hommlet. You're kind of traveling to the north, and it's off-road, but it's also like it's not off of trail, you might say, because there are like some man-made trails that essentially are like going to farms that are like, again, on these sort of outskirts, kind of wild. These are like the these people who are really trying to like establish new lands and things like that. So there's like folks out there. So you're not completely outside of civilization, right? Initially. So you're able to kind of like talk to some of the farmers, and get some information about like, the dead livestock and things. But eventually you kind of get to the edge of that and you're sort of heading into what would be like the wilderness, and where this thing would probably live. So Ren, barely. You sound like you're down a tunnel.
Yeah, I had to try to switch microphones. My other one stopped working for some reason.
Okay.
I was going to try to get some type of a cart. So we got to bring the eggs back.
Oh yeah, sure, that's fine.
So get like a donkey and trap or something in a small cart. That way we have some way of securing the eggs and bring them back. I don't want to try to carry a bunch of eggs.
Okay, that sounds good.
Sorry, I was trying to say that, but I was like talking, and it's like you're like, don't everybody talk at once. I'm like, oh, my microphone's not working.
All right, yeah, that sounds good. Did you want a pack animal of any sort, or are you just like
some type of pack animal?
Maybe like a mule.
Yeah,
might make
like
sense.
That.
Like they can move pretty well through this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
It's not like it's that difficult terrain, but there is some like rocks and like little chasms here and there, and like some ups and downs.
A small cart, because not everybody's going to be riding, so it's just walk along with it. Carry anything else you might find. Carry the egg safely, hopefully.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Stuff it full of hay or whatever.
All right, so Ren, why don't you make me a tracking check then? You sound terrible, by the way. Dom, if there's any way you can fix your mic, we would all be grateful. Okay. Ren, why don't you give me a tracking check?
Got a 13 out of 14.
Okay, great. So you start tracking into the woods. It probably took you 2 hours to get outside of civilization. You're about like an hour, you sort of following things. And you're starting to see some signs of what you presume would be a larger beast moving through the trees. You can see some like broken branches, things like that.
Were the peasant folk that we passed able to give us any useful information, or was it really just sort of variations on a theme?
Yeah, variations on a theme, like nothing really interesting. I mean, they kind of like all pointed like, oh, we saw the beast fly out into that direction, but it's not like really useful, because it's kind of like a bear coming down from the mountain to like steal from the people who live in town. It feels a little bit like that. Like they're like, it came from the woods, it's that sort of direction. Yeah.
I do have locate animals and plants, but at like this level it's 100 yards plus 20 yards per level. So I can locate it if it was 140 yards in front of us, but I feel we would know if it was in front of us.
If it's 140 yards in front of you, you might have something else to worry about.
Yeah, I think we'd know it was there.
The only thing worse would be if it was 140 yards behind us.
But I guess if it was in a bunch of caverns, we could narrow down which cavern or cave it would be in. We had to go that route.
True enough. That's a good point.
True.
Good point.
It only lasts 2 rounds per level.
Though. I'm kind of curious here if this is considered an animal. They didn't start doing that really consistently until 3rd edition, where they would tell you what category something is in. I would say this qualifies as an animal, though. It's weird. It's a huge flying lizard with a poisonous stinging tail, but
they got a general frequency too that you can use as a guideline. If it's a common animal, 50, uncommon 30% chance, rare 15%, very rare 5%.
Okay, so it is uncommon then.
So it'd be a 30% chance I could find it.
Is it a spell?
Yes, it's called Locate Animals and Plants.
So you have to be within range and then also cast the spell.
Yeah, it has to be within 140 yards of me. It's kind of shitty, actually.
I know. Now that I'm thinking about it, man, that's really tough.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're in a really confined area and there's something.
It's better used for like the plants when you're locating a specific herb that you would need for spell research or components. I feel. Whenever the spell like this comes up, it always makes me wonder, like, because somebody made this spell for a very specific reason. They wanted something in their campaign that was like, we need this spell for this thing, and it's like, what were they thinking when they made that spell? Like, what was? Because the range is pretty short. Yeah, he could find the direction and distance of any type of animal or plant he desires. The caster facing in a direction thinks of the animal and then knows if any such animal or plant is within range. If so, the exact distance and approximate number present is learned.
Oh, so you have to face in a distance, so it's actually in a direction, so it's actually like kind of like a cone.
Yeah, it's a range 100 yards plus 20 yards per level. Area of effect is 20 yards level times 20 feet. Weird.
That is weird. Okay. Well, anyway, I don't really think it's going to come into play all that much. So and there goes there is, for all of our listeners or watchers out there, there is the longest discussion you've ever heard of this spell. So
somewhere out there, Frank is saying challenge accepted.
Don't spend all your slots on it, I guess, is the final conclusion of this spell, unless you got to cast it a whole bunch of times in a row. No, take all your spots. Move 100.
I think what it's really saying, it's going to show me the path to this creature 140 yards worth, and then the path disappears. So the path may change as it's going. I think that's what it's saying.
I could buy that, even though
instead of me being 100 yards ahead of it, it was just going to show me 140 yards worth of path to the thing. Maybe.
But fortunately, actually, Ren is seeing that. So he because this creature is gargantuan. It's 35 feet long. 30 to 40 feet is kind of the rumors that you've heard. Giant flying lizard. It's damaged like the environment around it. In fact, Ren, you would know that like wyverns are total forest pests. Like, they will go into a place and like decimate it. They'll just decimate it by, eating like animal. They'll eat it to death. Like, they just will destroy a place. They're not like they're it's not one of those situations where it's kind of like every animal deserves its right to live in peace. This is like a creature that actively destroys ecosystems. Yeah, you can just get sand. I didn't even read the whole thing, but I'm assuming that's what you're... You must go on a special quest for sand.
Pocket sand. I'm sure we
Hey,
all have
man,
some.
I've played with some DMs who would be a dick about stuff like that sometimes. Where would you get sand? In the forest? Fuck you, dude. Seriously?
Can you hear me now?
Yay!
Yes.
You sound good, too.
Very well.
Thanks. Working on it.
All right, so Ren, you start. You kind of have a general idea of like where this creature has been. But you also notice something else. You notice on the ground level, as you're kind of moving around, because like it's a little bit misty, so it's a little bit muddy, but you see other tracks. You see like man-sized humanoid boot tracks. And I would say in big enough numbers that it's hard to tell how many there are. You know what I mean? Because like they're kind of trampling on each other, but definitely in big enough numbers.
Okay. How far am I in front of the party?
What is the elven thing for? Or you're half elf, aren't you, Ren?
No.
Oh, you're human. Okay.
Bad luck.
I think you just have to be 60 feet to be able to like be quiet compared to the rest of the party. I forget exactly what it is for rangers, but I think it's something like that.
Mhm.
You're just like, you're not too far up ahead. You can see your party behind you.
All right. And looking at the tracks, I can't determine, like you said, the amount I can't determine and the size of the human.
Yeah, you would say medium, like at least medium humanoids. Again, they're like, you know, they're boot prints, so at least that level of sophistication. But what that means is you're unsure of. Beyond that,
And I can't tell of a direction that they were headed.
Yeah, you kind of could say you could yeah, like it looks like they've been around this area, but you can kind of get a sense as to what general direction that they're traveling into. Yeah, I would say.
And they'll probably just head back to the party and refer this information. Not sure how much we're gonna. If we could want to skirt around it or try to go through it. There's got to be people around here. Some kind of people. And
Yeah, any of you respond?
I mean, we don't have a very good track record with people.
How many did they say they sent out here last time? Did they?
2, I thought it was either a party or just 2. I thought it was just 2 people. I could be wrong on that.
I don't recall.
Say that again. What is it? What's the question? I was reading something.
There was another party that came before us.
2. It was 2.
Yeah.
It's just definitely more than 2. Like this is like more than 5 or 6. You would say. Like it's hard because like you're just seeing kind of like overlapping muddy boot prints, so it's really hard to get an accurate count because they're just there's like there are like trees and rock. There's like paths you kind of have to follow just by the nature of
Well, if this many people pass in this direction to combat this wyvern, perhaps even if they did not defeat it, they have weakened it, and we can take advantage of that.
Hopefully.
Possible.
Well, if there's a large number of them, it might
Yeah,
be easy
but-
to sneak by.
I'm not saying that these were actually the people that came here to try to kill the wyvern. In the hills, there's a lot of animals, a lot of humanoids that could be living up here that know their way around.
On the one hand, I don't trust anybody. On the other hand, anyone who's worth still being alive would realize that trying some sort of, petty squabbling between us and them would be stupid when there's a wyvern around. And for the greater good, we should expect that they'll realize we need to slay the beast.
Okay, should I try to follow the trails, or are we going to just skirt around them? We know what directions about we need to go. Which way do you want me to lead?
Are they going the same way that we need to go?
As far as I
Generally,
can tell with the
yeah.
footsteps, are all over the place.
Sounds good.
That means they've in my opinion, have come and gone through here.
And let's continue upon our path that we set out on to begin with.
All right. So,
Probably the best way to go. Doesn't change anything until it has to.
all right. So I crouch down and do.
Sound good.
All right. Let's see here. Everybody. Oh, no. Okay. Let's say Ren first. Make a perception check for me. You start moving along the trail, along the pathway. Again, it's kind of like it's a little bit misting out,
4.
warm. Oh, you rolled a 4. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
4 out of 12.
Wow, that's really good. So you made it, even made it by 8. You start to you're kind of moving very quietly, and you notice you suddenly hear something, and you just kind of stop briefly, and you hear like guttural sounds, but you also definitely hear the sound of like a dog barking. Well, you made it by 8. I'm going to give you this too. I'm going to say that it sounds like it's the sound of the bark of like a mastiff.
Mm.
And there's just these guttural. God, fuck, man, you made it by 8. I kind of want to give you this too.
Okay, well, I skirt up to a tree and just kind of see if I can peek at anything in that direction.
Yeah, okay, so you see, this is even better. So you see, like, in the distance, it's kind of hard to see everything because there's, like, trees in the way and stuff, but there looks like there's a little tiny kind of farmstead. Like, there's a little, I mean, I would say shack sized. It's like a size like a shack, but it's kind of like a little bit better put together. Like, it looks like it's constructed by hands of somebody who's a craftsman, like that knows kind of what they're doing. There's like a little porch, and you can see but there was like a rocking chair there. There's like it's kind of hard to see through the trees, but there's like clearly like a pen next to it that has some animals in it, like livestock, and then there's like another area you can kind of see maybe it's like a very small farm. However, you can see that the front door from your vantage point, the front door is open, and kind of milling about in front of the building are several of these like green and yellow skin, dark skin, tusked orcs, broken tusked, disgusting orcs moving about, spears and swords and wicked edged weapons, and they're just kind of like moving about like right in front of the farm area, just like like one of them you just see those like kicks just stomps on the rocking chair, just breaking it for seemingly like no reason whatsoever. And another one is like taking his spear and stabbing at the livestock that are penned in, just like stabbing at him, just like totally wanton violence, and just kind of like laughing, and a couple of the other orcs that are like nearby are like laughing as well, kind of cheering them on. But the sound of the barking, you can see that there's a couple of orcs that they seem to be prodding at something in the doorway, and you kind of catch a glimpse of like this mastiff that like the orcs are kind of fighting off. What'd you like to do?
And about how many of them do we see again?
Well, only Ren really sees us right now,
Oh,
but he'll
okay.
tell you. I'm sure he's going to tell you.
Oh yeah, well, I kind of, since they're following behind me, I kind of wait till they get just in range,
Mm-hmm.
And I give him the get low symbol and maybe call over.
I'm already low.
I'm calling over JB. 'Cause I know he's the quietest.
All right. So you're gonna tell me everything that you see there?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you everything you see and see if you'd go back. I just want to keep an eye on the farmstead wall.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
it looks like, I mean,
Are we far enough away that I can just sneak out to tell the rest of the party, or do I need to?
yeah. You're fine. I mean, I'll say you're like 100 yards away at this
All right.
point.
So
or
we can
not
take
even.
it
No,
as
I would say probably more like 50 yards away.
I would say about 50.
Yeah,
If I was 60 out.
yeah. So,
but I
I'll
don't
say,
need to roll to move silently. Then I can just move silently.
No.
back to them. They don't hear us.
You're
Okay.
far enough. I mean, you can if you want to move silently, just in case. You can do that.
I think I'm going to not take the chance on stepping on a thing with a bad roll.
He's going to take the blessing.
You're just gonna be as quiet as you can,
Yes.
but not like you're ninja quiet.
Not ninja quiet. I'm going to be as quiet as I can.
Quiet where you're kind of moving quickly to get back to your party. The you would guess probably and you can pass this information on as well JB, but Ren, you'd guess probably, I mean, you don't know if you're seeing all of them, but you see maybe 6 or 7 orcs.
Okay, how far down was the farmstead from where I'm at?
Yeah, I would say 60 or 50 yards about.
50 yards, okay.
So like probably the closest orc is like 40 yard, or no, probably 10 feet closer than that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 15 feet.
And how many could we see again?
6 or 7. It's hard to see. I mean, you're looking through like spaces in the trees, and you're trying to, catch them as they're walking around. Like, like, not all orcs look the same to you guys. Kind of like they're just like these brutish warriors. But 6 or 7 probably in that area that you see.
All right.
I'll just ready my sling, I guess.
I'm going to cast magical stone on 3 small
It's a great
stones
spell.
that I can
Love magical stone. All right.
I guess...
Anybody else want to do anything?
I'm going to try to aim for the orc that is kicking the dog. Because I don't care about people, but you don't kick a dog.
Oh, okay. Didn't expect that from JB.
What?
By the way, Ren, what is your species enemy?
Giants.
Oh.
Well, if we play this whole campaign out, the next adventures after this, oh no, it's the slave lords, and then it goes to against the giants. Like literally, a huge part of the super campaign is giants fighting giants.
We've got to make it to the giants.
That's a long way off.
Yeah.
All right, so you so you're gonna aim.
Yeah, I get the notion that my party is going to engage.
Well, I mean, you certainly get the notion when JB pulls the bow up to his chin
Yeah. Well, I didn't know.
and draws back.
I was away from them, so I was.
I know, but
Okay, all right.
no, JB would have to move back up. Probably, you can't really see him from 60 feet back.
I was thinking he would bring the party with him.
Yeah, I went
Just
back to get the
quietly.
party.
Yeah. Okay. So he brought the party back. So yes, I mean, it doesn't. I don't know what the rest of the folks are doing. You have to describe the rest of you guys what you're up to. But yeah, JB certainly looks like he's getting ready to do something.
I was preparing my sling, and once stones have been thrown and arrows are flying,
Yeah,
I'll
and Brother
start slinging
Rygar casts a
stones.
spell on these stones.
Yeah.
I mean, so you would technically have an opportunity for an ambush round. They don't see you, so you get around.
Sounds good.
Essentially, and then they'll roll for surprise. That's kind of the way it works. They don't notice you. And thanks to Ren's incredible perception check that he made by 8, I'm gonna say that you kind of snuck up on him.
I would hope so.
So, kind of, how is this going to play out to begin?
Do we roll initiative?
You don't have to roll initiative. Well, yeah, I guess we could roll initiative. I mean, but you can decide who goes first and what order and how you do it, because you're in an ambush round.
Well, looking over at JB, I'm gonna go after him because as soon as I see what he's doing, I cock my bow.
I've got throwing axes ready.
I think if I hit this guy, we're gonna still have him sort of off balance, and we can really get some damage in before they're prepared.
All we see is one, or do we see a couple more?
Oh no, outside you see like 6 or 7.
With this magical stone, can I pick 3 targets, or I have to use all 3 stones on one target?
What does it say in the spell? I think you can do different targets, if I remember correctly. But I mean, it's been a little while.
Believe so.
All
It's
3 can be
basically-
thrown in one round. The character using them must roll normal to hit, though the magic of the stone enables the character to be proficient. They're considered +1s for creatures to be struck, but they do extra damage to undead. But it doesn't say if I can use them on 3 different targets in one round.
I
can
think that
throw
a lot of
all
these spells,
3.
they usually will tell you when you can't do something. So
Okay.
I'm going to say
3
that you can.
stones.
I think you can do 3 different opponents if you want.
Then that's
That's
what
fine. That's fine by me.
Yeah. Within my range, though. Are they within
Yeah.
30 yards of us?
And that's what I was going to say. I would say that from the spot 50 yards where Ren was, I would say that they have like some cover. You know, like because there's still a lot of trees in the way. I would say you will need to move closer.
Or I'll wait till they start running towards us.
Yeah, I mean,
wanna
I
ambush
would
them?
say though, even for, I mean, because you guys think about it, 50 yards away, bow shot, that's 150 feet. I think that pushes your range back.
Yeah, if it's an ambush round,
penalties.
they
And then also
that
I
won't
would
be
say-
happening.
Yeah, and then I would also say that they do have partial cover, so I would give them a better bonus to their AC as well if you don't want to move up closer, just because there are a lot of trees and things like that in the way. So how do you want to proceed with that, in terms of that?
I'm just moving up as close enough so that I can see the guy. If he's still got some cover from the trees, that's fine, but I'm taking the shot as soon as I actually can see him.
Okay, well,
So
if it's
that'll-
a farmstead, can we get to the edge of the tree line?
Ooh. If we can, that'd be even better.
So
Or are we at the end of the tree line?
yeah, well, so that's the thing is it's the tree line gets pretty close to the house. It probably gets like out in the front. Like it's like I said, it's a really small little area. Like it's this like nice version of a shack, a pen with animals in it,
Yeah,
another
farmette.
pen with a small like garden. It's probably like a small fruit and vegetable garden. And then there's like an area that's been kind of cleared out there in front. But it's not like a farmstead big area. It's more like a high-end hermit living out in the woods. You know what I mean? Who's kind of like built this life, you know, I guess you might say. But I would say you can probably get, I mean, the clearing around the area, let's call it 10 yards. So like we'll say there's like kind of a 30-foot radius out there, sort of around where the farm or the building is. That would put you very close to them, but it would also put you in the potential of stepping on a crunchy stick or some dry leaves and alerting them as well.
I mean, they're gonna know we're there in just a minute anyway.
Mm-hmm. I say
So
we
how
get
close
a
do you
little
wanna
bit
get then?
closer. I say we get a little bit closer, fire off some, and see what comes running at us. The ones that can fire that distance.
All right, I will go with that.
All right.
How closer do you want to get? What's your target number?
For me, I'd say 100.
100 feet?
Yeah, it's better than 150.
Yeah. Let's say 100 feet, give or take.
100 works for me.
Okay. I think that does put brother Rygar out of range
By 10 feet.
by 10 feet.
And I'm just going to wait till they come at us. And when
All
they
right.
get into
And then-
melee, then
And then
I'll
what about
attack.
Tuctrin?
Yeah, so quick question. To refresh my memory, the range on weapons is listed in yards or feet? It's yards, correct?
Really?
That's a good question.
Well,
I feel like it's.
true. 100. Yeah.
I don't think it's. I
150
don't think
would be
it's. I don't think it's yards because the max range is like 200 yards. I don't know.
Well, my arrows can
might
go up
be
to
right.
150 yards.
Let's see here. What does it say? Let's see. Well, like it's funny because this game has so many rules, and like we've all played it for years and years, and we still can't remember all of the little details. All right, so let's see. Money and equipment lists, weapons.
Range.
I
It
think
says
it's
measured in
yards.
yards. It says yards.
It says yards.
Okay. All right. So my throwing axe has a range of 10, 20, 30. It says.
So 30 yards would be your max.
So okay.
30
So
yards.
30 yards is
that's
roughly
about right.
what?
90 feet.
90 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I believe that gives you a penalty, right? It's like -2 or something like that.
right.
Yes.
Is that
long
right?
range,
Is that
yeah.
is that right? And then so
Mhm.
like and then standard range and then there's like the other two ranges are
The 60
the
would be
same unless you have
Specialty for point blank shot.
Yeah, for the
Uh-huh.
point blank shot. Okay.
Okay.
So
So 60 without penalty. And how far back are you standing, Brother Agar?
I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna get with these guys, but I'll have to wait for another 10 feet. You know, they have to come another 10 feet closer to
Right.
me.
How far? And how they're about how far away?
100, they're 100 feet
100.
out.
They're exactly 100. Okay. So I'll wait with them.
You guys
Maybe
are
I'll
so
take an
funny.
opposite
It's like we
position,
can't
like a-
walk up 10 more feet and everybody be in range. We just need these two people.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is it also pure daylight out?
It's very cloudy. It's
Okay.
totally overcast.
Well, my thing is, if I move up 10 feet, I'm going to make all kinds of noise. I am the least stealthy person.
Yeah.
You are
fairy
like
fire wouldn't work here.
anti-stealth, actually.
Exactly, which is exactly why I'm not moving forward.
Fairy
Yes, then
fire
they would
wouldn't
all
work
just-
here, would it?
Yeah, yeah.
Fairy fire?
Because
Why
it's
wouldn't it
daylight.
Fairy fire doesn't work during daylight?
Well, it does. It says just 80. You can outline them 80 yards in the dark and 40 yards if the viewer is near a bright light source, and that's including moonlit nights. I don't think it would work during the day. I mean, I guess it can, but
Fairy fire to me makes a glowing outline around somebody.
yeah, it gives.
I mean, I think it would still work.
it would give us some bonuses to hit them.
I mean, don't you think it would? I would think that would work. Like, I don't see
Yeah.
any reason why fairy fire wouldn't work on
It
an
should work during the day
overcast
because it's a
I think-
supernatural glow.
Literally, I think it would work during the sun, and maybe you don't give you any bonuses.
Yeah,
but,
it gives
like,
you a +1 bonus to twilight or better. So better light. So we'll get a +1.
We'll
to
call
hit
it
these guys.
Twilight. We'll
Okay,
call it
yeah.
Twilight. Yeah.
So when they get in the range, I'll cast that first because that magic stone lasts for 30 minutes or until used.
Okay.
And it says I can do a number of people. It's basically within the area of effect. So I'm gonna wait till a bunch of them get into my 10 feet square per level. So 20-foot square. And then you tell me how many I got.
Okay, so you need to wait until they get within 20 feet of you, or you can do a 20-foot square.
I could do a 20-foot square.
All right, let's see here. I'll tell you, and I'll say you can get 3 and 1.
Okay.
You could get like we'll say you could get the 3 that are by the animals. The ones
I
that
could
are
technically
stabbing
do
at the
that.
animals.
Yeah.
They're
Because
all
it's 80
kinda
yards.
together.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
80
there's,
yards, so
or
I
you
can-
could get the 2
Yeah.
who are attacking the dog, right?
I'll get the 3.
And then there's like 1 or 2 others that are like on the other, like just kind of nearby. They're like stomping on vegetables now.
I'll get the first 3 that you said.
Okay, great, perfect. And anybody else got any other prep stuff to do before you unleash the pain?
Nope. I'm waiting for it all to pop off.
Yeah, so exactly. So who is the one that's gonna do it? Let me turn on some action music here.
I'm counting down. If things wait too long, then I'm charging.
I fired.
It's JB, right?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
gotta be
firing. JB
I'm
was
firing right
he
now.
was prepared before me.
19. Boom.
Nice.
Nice, okay. Well, actually, first things first is like Brother Rygar's spell goes off, the fairy fire. And like a couple of them they're like like laughing and like stabbing and so like got these I don't know what, maybe like a golden
I can determine the color.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
And let's see. Blue.
Blue. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have a blue light and they're all kind of like like and they seem like something is up. All right, so and then JB fires an arrow. You're firing at one of the ones that's at the door.
I'm firing specifically at the guy who was kicking the dog.
All right, go ahead and roll damage.
All right.
They do have shields and I think it's shields of mother armor. Give me much detail on this right here. What you get?
I have to find my D6. 5.
You do D6 damage. You have flight arrows instead of sheath arrows.
Yep.
Interesting choice.
No, we determined that by I got the arrows from the first set of.
Oh, right.
So
I remember.
that's what you told me they had, so that's what I went with.
Okay. Left one or right one?
I feel like this is going to be a very significant choice. Left one.
Okay. All right, and that is. You said how much damage did you do?
5.
5? Nice. Okay, great. Let's see how much he has. Well, he like puts his hand up at his neck as the arrow pierces through his jugular, and he kind of just like puts his hands up to it. You just see this like dark blackish blood splatter everywhere. He just falls to his knees, falls on the ground, and the other one that was next to him, the one on the right, turns back towards you, and you see him, and he's got this like jagged fang, that just single jagged fang kind of like piercing out of the bottom of his mouth, and he's got this eye patch that looks like it's been essentially stapled to his face, to like one of his eyes, and it's like you can see he's got like this burn, look like he had a burn. There's like this all kind of matted nasty hair kind of like sticking out the top of his head, but he turns towards you and he's got this like vicious looking jagged bladed long sword, and let's see here, you also see that he has in one of his hands like this pole that has a dirty, actually it kind of looks like maybe it was like a soldier's coat at one point, but it's been like torn up a little bit, like a lightish gray, and it has this like black fist painted on it, poorly, but he turns towards you, and like you just see like across the battlefield he makes eye contact with you, but the one is dead.
Nice.
Okay, who else fired? Ren. Yeah. Let's
Ren, then me.
Okay.
Like,
I see the glow of the orcs from the spell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fire at one of those. I don't know what that gives me, but
+1 to hit.
+1 to hit. All right. Shit. 10.
You rolled a 10, or you had
No,
hit
I rolled a
10?
A 10 total.
Okay, so you hit AC 10. Yeah, you do not. They are wearing, like I said, they have studded leather armor. They do have shields, and although in the ambush round it doesn't count, they're kind of flat-footed to it. But yeah, it kind of skims off of like one of the orc's shoulder pads, sort of flying off into the forest beyond, drawing his attention. Greyash and yeah, let's do Greyash and then talk drink. Greyash, you're using like a sling staff.
Yeah, I'm still sling staffing away.
Staff, yeah.
Would I be able to go for the guy that turned around?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You're going down, Winky.
Winky.
One of them hits AC 5. The other one I rolled an 8, so AC
they have, yeah,
12.
you have a AC 12, and the first one you said AC 5.
Yeah.
All right, well that's gonna be good enough. Yeah, you're one of your stones like hits an exposed. Are you using sling stones or sling bullets?
Bullets.
Oh, one of your bullets. Wow, fancy.
I'm basically only using, but I got like a bag of them. It's medium, yeah. 1d4 plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
4 damage.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it skips off the top of his head, and you can just see this like burst open, like just kind of like blood off the top of his head.
I really wanted you to hit him in his good eye and not kill him.
And we all know who the evil one in the party is. All right, so
What gave you that idea?
let's see, to hit on missile weapons. Oh yeah. All right, so Tuctrin, you're gonna throw your axes. Brother Rygar, I'll give you your opportunity to throw your stones too if you want, before they go. But go Tuctrin first.
Yeah. I'm gonna move forward. So I've got like a throwing axe in one hand, a shield in the other, and it's gonna kind of like do that little like short charge forward and chuck one.
Uh-huh.
Whoever the closest one is.
Closest one would be one of the other two that are kind of just like they were kind of stomping on the vegetable garden and stuff.
Okay. Is that one glowing or not glowing?
Not glowing.
Right? Not glowing. Okay. So modified 18.
Oh, that's definitely good enough. Yeah, your axe goes soaring through the forest, through the trees, cutting through a few leaves, and plunges into one of the orcs that's stomping on vegetables.
For 7.
Let's see. There's a chance that won't kill him. And it doesn't. He has 8 hit points. All right, so yes, but it kind of like thuds into his back, and he like reaches back at it like what the fuck, and he turns around. And then go ahead, Brother Rygar.
I'm gonna attack 2 of the glowing ones and the one with the eye patch. A 4, a 3, and an 18 on the.
Well, the 4 and the 3 are going to fly off into the forest,
Yes.
but that 18.
The 18, we'll go to the eye patch guy. So the +1's missed, and the 18 will go to the eye patch guy for. Let me see. 1d4, and then I get +1 from my strength. So I did 4 points of damage.
Describe your kill.
I'm going to get that dude right in the eye.
His other
Thank
eye.
you.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop his eye out, and then it just keeps on going further and brains him.
All right, the back of his head explodes as your stone bursts out of the back, splattering
Salsa.
brain and skull all over on the inside of the house beyond.
It is what he deserves.
You hear the dog is still barking. Let's see here. First, let me roll surprise for them. Oh my fucking god! All right, they're surprised.
I would
So
think
go
so.
again. Roll the 1. So they're like just totally surprised. So you can go again.
Cool. How many of them are still there that we can see?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can still see.
Is there anybody else still attacking the dog?
Wait a second. Did we get Ren's attack?
Yeah, you got my first one.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay. That's right. That's right. Yes.
You got my miss.
Yeah. Well, actually, technically, yeah. Okay. So the surprise round, you get your full actions. So JB and Ren, you get 2 attacks with your bows this time. You know what? Let's roll initiative though, because this round is the initiative round, technically, even though they're surprised. So that'll determine the order. Because now you're all in the middle of battle, so you're not like, let's plan who goes first and everything. So it's all free. It's a free for all. Technically,
for me.
you are armored right now, JB. You have armor spell on, which gives you that AC 6 as your base, plus your dex bonus. So right now, your armor class is 2. You're one of the best armored
Nice.
in the party.
I
That is
have
right.
su-
You have an 18 dex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your armor class right now is 2.
I have suddenly blanked on what to roll for initiative.
D10.
How do I get up in the morning?
How did the others of you rolled? What did you get?
I rolled a 2.
Well, what? Give me your initiative with the modifiers for what you're going to do.
Oh, initiative.
9.
I rolled 11. I'm just gonna take out my morning star. Wait till we hit melee.
I mean, you can hit melee right now.
6.
Okay, then it's 11.
I mean, you could charge up and
Yeah.
chop into him.
That would be 5.
16.
8.
All right, JB, you're first. So they're like obviously totally surprised, shocked, like wide-eyed. You can see their like yellow eyes opening wide. They're looking into the woods and they're like trying to spot you, but they're still like fumbling around, trying to like gather themselves.
All right. Again, is there anyone still attacking the dog? Because if there is, that's my target.
Oh, there's 2 dead bodies in front of the dog right now.
All right, then. I mean, I'm just gonna. Doesn't matter who I pick then, but I'm gonna fire an arrow at the closest one.
Okay. That would be. There are the 2 in the vegetable garden stomping around. One of them has like an axe literally stuck in his back.
I'm even for him.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely hurting, but
All
he's
right.
still up. And then there's another one there that's like not as hurt, who's like, looking blindly up and dumb as he's like smashed like a cabbage head. Goes bursting and he's like looking up like, what the fuck is happening right now?
All right, 12. Not as good a roll. Oh, 14.
Wait.
Forgot about my modifier. 14 to hit.
14 and AC 6 is what you needed. So that is good enough. Has your Thaco gone? Actually, your Thaco. Doesn't the rogue go down every other level? Is that right? 20, 20, 19, 19, 18, 18.
All right, well then I'm on.
I think you're at 19.
I'm on level 3, so I should be at 19.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay.
So that means you have an additional further +1 that you would have gotten on that particular attack.
Awesome.
So you would have actually hit AC 5. I think.
You know what? If I hit him, I hit him. That's all that matters.
Yeah, you hit him. That's exactly right.
5 again. I'll take these 5s.
Yep, rogue 19. Okay. So the one had 1 hit point, so he goes down.
Awesome.
You can go ahead and do your other attack right now. It's fine. And you said AC 5 as well.
He's at AC 5. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, he has AC 6, so you definitely hit him.
All right. I was gonna roll for my second hit.
Yep.
See if
Go
I
ahead.
didn't. Okay.
Oh, I thought you already did. I thought you said AC 5. Again.
No.
Okay.
I was just talking about the
then,
one. I've only rolled once, but I'll aim for the other guy.
Then hold on, because the second bow attack goes at the end.
Okay.
So hold on, but I thought you had already rolled. So
No, I didn't roll for it yet.
So that was at 5. At 8, Ren. Also from the forest with the bow. Or are you doing something else this time, Ren?
Nope. Same thing with the bow.
All right. Well, the one that you... yes, right. So there's the 3 glowing ones.
13.
Oh, that's going to be good enough. Wait, you rolled a 13 total?
No. 11 plus 2. That's AC 7.
You don't have any dex modifier for...
Yeah, plus
hit?
2.
And then +2 for the... Or is it +1? What's the fairy fire give?
+1.
Oh, if I'm shooting one that's fairy fire, yeah, then it's let's see, what did I say? 13, 14.
14, and AC 6 is what you need. So that does it for you. The fairy fire guided you at the last moment. So go ahead and roll your damage. Actually, you don't have to. They have one. It has 1 hit point. That's his max.
Good, because I rolled a 2.
That's it. That's good enough.
I killed something. Yeah.
Yeah. So your arrow plunges into his shoulder and it flips him over the fence into the pen with the livestock that he was previously tormenting.
Oh, I'm gonna get cocky now. I killed something.
So that was at 8. You go with your second attack at the end, and then now Tuck Drim. Here comes the buzzsaw.
Not super buzzsawing right now. I am going to charge at whoever the closest one is again.
All right, that's the guy who just stomped on the cabbage and is looking kind of dumbly in the vegetable garden.
God, I feel like it's an episode of Avatar. My cabbages, if anybody knows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going after him, axe out, shield and axe, and I'm just gonna bring the axe down on him, like he's a cabbage.
All right, roll
And
the
he
hit.
is.
And this guy is not fairy fire, correct?
No, he's just
Okay.
standing there dumbly.
So I got a 14 plus 5, 19.
Oh god, yeah, that's way enough.
I get a
Easy.
+1 because he's an orc and I'm a dwarf, so that helps.
I know, I love that. I love that. I love dwarves for that reason. We just hate orcs so much that we just
hate orcs, right?
We hate them precious.
Old school D&D, man.
Okay. 11.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully orc blood is good for soil because you just splattered it all over the garden. Just falling to bits on the ground there. Just dead. Right next to his companion. However, when you ran in to charge him, you saw that sitting on the ground, like in kind of further off, well, I guess you would say to the left, because the livestock pen is to the left. Further off, like kind of in an alcove of a bit that's formed by some like trees and some growth, are 4 more orcs. They were sitting down, kind of like on their knees, I guess you might say, eating a ripping apart a cow, just like they were just like eating it raw. And you see, and well, you assume was probably alive when they first started, but you run into there and they're like, now they're like kind of covered in cow blood, and like they're all starting to like, react to the situation. They're surprised as well. But there's 4 more orcs that are in that area that you couldn't see before.
Awesome.
I smile at them and I like just bang my axe on my shield to get their attention.
At first I thought this might be a challenge for you, but now I see that I was wrong.
I'm just gonna like get their attention.
The ambush really helped. I think Ren making that perception check by 8, I really
Agree.
Yeah, I mean that's a big.
This is why Red goes first.
And now Red's feeling cocky. He found them and killed one now. So okay, so that was at 9, and then Brother Rygar.
Is there one still glowing?
Yes, there are actually 2 still glowing.
I'll attack the first glowing one I come to with my Morning Star. And I missed with a 5.
Yeah, he deflects it, manages like at the last second put up his shield, deflecting it away. And finally, Grey Ash at 16.
It took me a long. I've been spinning this up for a million years. I can't get in the basket. It's so finicky, these stupid little stones.
Well, maybe use bigger stones or something. I don't know.
AC 8 against one of them.
That's not going to be enough. Does that include the +1 for glowing?
No, it doesn't. So
that would be
AC
7. Anything else you can add to that? They have AC 6.
No, I got nothing.
Do shields count when you're surprised?
High ground. No, I don't know.
Do shields count when you're surprised?
If you're being attacked from the side that the shield covers, like if he was hitting it in the back, no.
Let's give it I'll give it a 50-50 chance. So go ahead and roll percentile. If you roll 50 or less, you will be a shield side. It'll be the 51 to 100.
If I remember right, being surprised, you just lose all your dex and reaction modifiers.
Exactly. But I'm going to
Not
say
armor.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I'm going to give him a chance.
I rolled 39.
Okay, yeah, so you're not on the shield side, AC 7. That's good enough. All right, so one of your stones hits one that's standing there. And Grey Ash, I've got some wonderful news because this one also has 1 hit point.
I just hit 5. I just rolled max damage on this guy.
Oh, really?
Of course.
You blast into bits. I'll say it goes like through, like, his belly was like hanging out from underneath his like studded leather armor, and it's kind of like poking out. It's covered with like, grease, and it just explodes into his belly, and he just falls to the ground dead.
Grim.
And then finally, JB and Ren, you get your additional arrow fire shots. There's only one that you can see from where you are up is glowing, kind of the leader, the one that was spearing the livestock while the other 2 kind of watched on, laughing and pointing.
All right.
I'm going to say JB and Ren go simultaneous.
All right, I'm
With your
rolling.
second shot.
I'm rolling. Big money, big money. 14.
15.
16 with my +2.
What'd you get, Ren? 15?
15 total. Rolled a 12.
Well, would the 2 of you like to describe your simultaneous kill? Because I don't think you can. Well, roll damage. It's 5 hit points. I have a feeling
6.
that you... Yeah, okay, there you go. How much damage you do, Ren?
1.
Oh my god!
But what does it matter? It's dead. It's like I go to shoot it and it's oh well.
Yeah, like
what happened is I aimed and I got him square in the head, and as he fell forward, Ren's shot just glanced off his ear.
There you go.
There
It would have been
I
a
took the ear
perfect
off.
double hit, but mine got there just a little bit faster.
Yeah, so like the ear from the one is like now pinned with Ren's arrow onto the fence post behind him,
Oh, that's
where he had been standing, stabbing at the livestock. So that like orc ear is on Ren's arrow there. So actually, other than Tuctrin, the rest of you, it appears as though they're all dead. Because you can't see the 4 that are sitting down there.
Yeah, but we heard Tuctrin beating on his shield.
Did you yell, Tuctrin? Did you do that? I'm sorry, I might have missed that.
If he was usually if he does something like that,
I didn't yell. I just beat my axe on my shield to get the attention of the 4 orcs, so they would focus on me.
All right, everybody make a perception check then. Besides Tuctrin.
5.
I didn't hear crap.
I got a 20.
Oh my god.
18.
I'm freaking oblivious.
Yeah.
You're like, finally the battle is over.
I rolled a 17. I was just focused on my shot for the ear.
The two you, Brother Rygar and Ren, are like patting each other on the back right now
Yeah.
for how great a job they
Good
did.
job, man. Good job.
They're like, oh man, like, you know, Brother Rygar hands over the flask and Ren takes a shot. You guys are just like back there. Meanwhile, Tuctrin is like bang on a shield to get these guys' attention. JB and Grey Ash, the two of you, you see the situation, like what he's doing, where he's looking. You look over and you can see these 4 orcs are like getting up to head towards well, actually I gotta roll a morale check because like
We just housed their entire party.
you just killed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You just killed 7 of the 11 orcs. So let me see. And in fact, they are going to stick around. So they they steel themselves, thinking maybe they're just too stupid. Like they see all these dead bodies, but they just think it's only one dwarf. There's no way, you know. And they hate dwarves as well. Scummy little diggers underground and.
Rock
So
fuckers.
they're gonna now. I'm gonna roll initiative for them because they actually get to do something for once. And oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So they actually go on a 5.
Shit.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna say Brother Rygar and Ren, the 2 of you aren't out of this round. I'm just gonna say you'll go at the end of the round.
Yeah,
Like you'll go.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you don't notice it right away, but you're also still like in combat, you know. But JB, you're on 5, just like they are. So you see them start running up the Tuctrin. But you can fire at simultaneous as to them running to surround Tuctrin.
All right, I'm gonna lead them and try to hit the one who's in the lead, like the one who's closest to Tuctrin, to try to get him before he gets my boy.
Okay. Well, it'll be simultaneous technically.
Oh, well, okay. 14.
Yeah, that's
16.
gonna be good enough. Yep, that's gonna be good
16.
enough.
I never remember my +2.
All right. Go ahead and give me your damage.
Damage
but
is 4.
That is a strong one too. He's not going to go down from that. All right, nice. Okay, so Tuctrin, you're basically out in the open as much as you
I
can
am.
be, and the four orcs move to surround you and attack you. They charge at you, and so one of them is going to get a +2 bonus from being behind. I'm going to call that this particular die here, but all 4 of them move to surround you. Okay, actually, so the one that moved behind you does not hit you, but there are 2 that get AC 0.
Okay,
You don't
yeah,
have
they
that.
hit me AC 0. I have AC 3.
All right, and then one hit AC 6, and the other one that was from behind just misses you. So they rush at you, and one gets you with like a rusty tipped spear, and then the other one, I guess you might call it a short sword, but really it's just kind of like a sharpened hunk of metal that's been jabbed into the end of like a stick and rubbed and tied together with leather.
They
Dirty
truly
animals.
are evil, trying to give me tetanus.
Dirty
Exactly.
animals.
They're trying to give you tetanus. It's 2d8 damage. And that's 6 damage, so not too bad, actually. 2d8, it could have been much worse than that.
I mean, yeah, I was still hurts, but
Mhm.
absolutely. You said that was silence damage? I'm writing it down here.
6 total.
Six total? Okay.
Save for tetanus. All right, so and then one, you see like one gets an arrow plunge, and simultaneous, like the one standing in front of you see is an arrow like plunges into his shoulder. And then it would be Ren, but he's currently occupied. So Tuctrin, it is your turn again. It's your
Okay.
turn now.
So, can I drop my shield, pull my second axe, and still attack, or would that stop?
No, you can still
Okay.
do that. Yeah, you
All
can
right.
do that.
I'll absolutely do that.
No, we ruled that changing stuff is not
Okay.
gonna for them or you. I hate that rule. I think it's
Right.
stupid. Slows down combat.
Okay. So first attack, one of the guys that hit me on the AC 0 hit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna retaliatorily just come at him with the holy axe.
There you go.
That's a 16.
16 to hit is surely going to hit.
I don't know what their AC is. AC 4.
Yeah, AC 6 they have.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
And that's gonna be that's not that good. That's 9.
That's good enough. Okay, so that's one of the flanking guys actually. So yeah, you cut him down. He falls at your side with your axe. And you're
Okay.
like, actually, that's funny because since you said that, I'm gonna say like, you cut him, but you're a little bit annoyed because you just didn't get a nice clean kill.
I didn't. I really didn't. So second attack now or later, and I get an offhand.
Well, your offhand attack is now. Your second attack is at the end of the round.
Okay. So offhand, not as many bonuses. So I rolled a 17 on the die though. So
Oh god, that's plenty.
Uh,
I'm gonna say it's the other flank because that was the other one that hit you. You got hit on your flanks.
but,
So
7.
yeah, so he falls as well. So the two that you got, so you kind of like cut into his belly.
Yeah. So just like hit left, hit back right to the ones that hit me.
Exactly, and he falls to the ground.
And
Guts
I'm just like streaming dwarven, profanities at these orcs.
I am duly impressed by his dwarven profanities.
They're quite impressive. They're very aggressive.
And actually, they probably know it because like the dwarves and orcs hate each other. So like, there's like they might have even heard some of these. Like it's like when you know the slang of like a language that's kind of spoken.
Right. Like everybody
you know-
knows like Spanish curse words and stuff.
Exactly. All right, so that was the 9, and Brother Rygar would be next, but you're currently given a high 5. So Grey Hash.
Doing a Mountain Dew commercial over here.
Yeah, really.
I was thinking juicy fruit, but
Juicy fruit, yeah, that's a good one too.
Oh, that amuses me.
I did roll an 18 on the perception, but I'm also going incredibly last, so I don't know how you want to call that.
Oh wait, no, you failed your perception.
Yeah, I rolled 18.
Okay. So if you failed your perception,
We're
you're at the end
bringing
of the
you in
round
for
too.
the commercial.
Yeah, you're in the commercial too. You like do a chest bump with Ren.
Hey,
All
man,
right,
you
so
should
then-
give him one of those stones.
We'll go to the end of the round, folks. Then. Oh, you're like, oh shit! This still there's still enemies. Like all of a sudden you like turn around and like fumble with your bows or your slings or whatever. So that's I'm gonna say then, Ren, you would be first because you're the fastest. So go ahead and do your action first. And you have your bow, so you can do bow shots. It's like quickly like, unless you're getting in melee.
Well, as long as I don't hit him, hit Tuctrin.
Oh right, since Tuctrin is in melee combat, you got to do a -4 called shot, or not a called shot, but you have a 1 in 3 chance of hitting Tuctrin.
I don't know how this rolls, but Tuctrin, look out.
Do what you got to do, man.
First player death. Shot through the head.
Don't do that.
Friendly fire.
Uh-huh.
I thought we turned friendly fire off.
I rolled a 6, which would make it a 9.
Okay.
All right. 1 and 3.
Oh god. All right, what do I do to see whether I hit him or not?
I don't know. Let's make it fun. I'll make you roll it. So I mean, if you have a D3, it'd be 1 on the D3. If a D6, just 1 and 2 on the D6, and you'll hit Tuctrin.
5.
Okay, so it's your arrow just flies wild.
Okay.
All right. The Tuctrin never even knew.
Never even knew.
Did you want to do your second attack?
Yeah, which is 16.
First one went well, so.
I rolled a 16 plus 3.
Okay, so you'll hit your enemy then.
4.
All right, so there's one that's injured from, was it JB? I believe, yeah, JB fired an arrow. There's one that has an arrow sticking out of him, and then there's one that has not been hit at all. Which one would you like to fire your arrow at, Ren?
I'll hit the one that was already damaged.
Okay, he falls. And he was actually the one in front of Tuctrin. So basically, Tuctrin, you like turn around covered in blood and like covered in orc blood, and the one who tried to stab you in the back, the least honorable, slimiest of the
That
orcs.
I didn't even know was there.
Yeah, like he just like, yeah, because he did miss you. Go ahead, Brother Rygar.
I'm going to engage them with my Morning Star.
All right.
I rolled a
Push up.
15.
Ooh, that's gonna be good enough.
Nice.
Yes. I love a Morningstar as a weapon. Like I just
Yeah.
think it's so badass. I saw
7 points of damage.
Nice.
Oh yeah, you just crush his skull in. He just collapses in a. You know, like when somebody falls faster than gravity can take him, you just like crush his head and he just collapses just way too quickly to the ground. And
I spit on him.
oh yes, I like it. Release the rage, Brother Rygar.
Evil
Embrace
things.
it.
Evil things of darkness, I can't stand them.
All right, so the battle comes to an end. You have defeated all of the orcs. However, in front of you is this shack, little home, I guess you might say. Unfortunately, all the livestock has been like, it's like you hear them kind of like whimpering. Actually, you might be able to save some of the livestock if somebody wants to try to save some of the livestock. The garden is all trampled up. A lot of it's trampled up.
Who needed less leather strips?
And
That's what I was getting ready to say. I'm going to cut
that's the
some
first
leather
thing you
up.
think of.
Yeah.
JB. Dark JB. Brother Rygar's light is not shining upon you today.
No.
I would like to cast a Cure Light Wounds on myself.
Yeah, that sounds like a smart move. And there's all that. There's like you see the wreckage of the rocking chair, but you also see, like in the doorway, like the dog is like growling, and barking at you to try to get you away. standing over a gutted old, like, well, probably late middle-aged man. I wouldn't say old, but like late middle-aged man. He was obviously gutted by a sword. You can see his like guts are all ripped out. He's like lying on the, he's lying, just kind of on the floor, like inside the doorway. I mean, it doesn't take a professional to realize that he's dead. You know, like lying on the floor there. Guts are just, you know, strewn about on the floor. But the dog is standing over him. The mastiff, this huge mastiff, is standing over him.
That's a good thing we have a ranger.
Yeah.
Beautiful dog, by the way, too. It's like a kind of like a blondish body with, you know, that really dark brown, almost black, like around the snout and like the ears and around the eyes. Huge dog though, just like standing there.
Okay, I try to calm the dog down.
Kind of tries to lick at the. Well, so I read the rules on this while we were in the middle of that combat.
Good, because all I
so
you to it.
Yeah, you can automatically calm animals that are either friendly or domesticated. And it's specifically, I looked for the word "or" because it's not currently friendly, but it is a domesticated animal. So it's like, but you move up and automatically, but although give yourself XP for one of your special abilities, like it starts to. How do you approach? Describe your approach to the dog. This, and like the poor old man, he's like lying there, just inside the doorway.
I approached the dog low, you know, pretty much hands forward, and I'm whimpering a little bit. And I just kind of,
I'm sad.
Act like the sad dog.
All right. Yeah, the dog kind of starts like, you know, kind of looking to you, and it starts to, like, instead of barking, is whimpering a little bit, and kind of like looks up at you, and then like nudges his master. You know, and then kind of like looks up at you, kind of like this. I mean, you know, mastiffs kind of have sad eyes already.
Yeah.
But it's like looking up at you, like almost pleading to help his master.
Nothing I can do. I just slowly, easily, gently pet the dog from underneath his chin, and then just try to slowly coach the dog away from the master, which is going to be hard to do. I know.
Yeah. So you start working on that. And
take a little time.
Yeah. So you start kind of luring him away. Luring the dog away. What are the rest of you doing while he's doing that? The dog seems to be calm, but what are the rest of you doing?
If the animal's quite a bit of ways from the master, I'll start doing last rites on him and finding a nice burial spot.
Yeah, once he gets there, that'll be a bit, so you kind of have to wait for a bit. What about the rest of you? There are animals, the farm animals.
I could do a healing on a few of them.
Or they could be put out of their misery, and you could
I don't
them
have
into
any
food.
ability to heal them other than my spells, which I'm not going to use on an animal. If the animal looks too far gone, I'm definitely going to end them.
I would say this is more of an
like,
animal. I wouldn't say this would be a healing thing. I would say the proficiency that would be appropriate would probably be more something like animal, like an animal. That's not animal handling. There's
like animal husbandry.
There's something like it's not that. That can't be it, right? It's got to be something different than that. Animal, maybe animal handling.
Mine's called animal empathy. I don't know if that's.
Mm.
Okay, let's see. Animal lore.
I can't really do much with any of this. Can I like climb on the roof? Will that give me like any view of the area?
What's your dex?
10.
Maybe there's a ladder.
I'm gonna say it would be included in animal handling, because I kind of feel like if you like just like thinking of animal handling, like this is like beast of burden, pack animals. I mean, I feel like you would know. Like I don't know. I'm gonna put animal handling. I'm gonna say animal handling.
You can succeed in calming or
yeah, so like that's exactly
for
what
an
I'm thinking.
agitated animal. We could calm down.
Yeah, so I'm like saying like also like minor.
Yeah,
saving it, you know.
But I do have the healing proficiency too.
I'll give a healing proficiency at a -4 penalty. Let's say
Okay.
that. Okay, if you want to try to heal the animals.
I'll try to heal the one who
We'll
looks
say
like
there.
it will
We'll say
survive
there's
the
like
best.
we'll say there's a goat and a cow.
Okay.
No, we'll say there's a goat and a sheep, and the cow's already dead. The cow was the thing that they were eating. There's a goat and a sheep. And they were stabbing at the goat because the goat was like fighting back a bit with his horns. He's got these stab wounds.
I didn't get it with the negatives.
You did not?
No.
All right. The goat's just got too far gone. You just don't understand the anatomy of the animal well enough.
I could start putting them down.
Does Ren have animal handling?
No, just
Okay.
animal empathy.
Yeah.
I could borrow someone's dagger and just start putting them down. I'll give them a blessing.
All right. I mean, you could eat goat meat and stuff too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So he won't go to waste. We should name him though, so you feel bad about it.
No, we don't
Alright.
want him to feel bad about it. We'll name him Frank.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
All right, so you put the goat down, respectfully, and the sheep seems well enough. The sheep will survive. Then that doesn't mean that you can't kill it if you want. I mean,
good to know.
you're welcome to eat the remaining meat that's left on the cow if you want.
Not after it's been eaten.
It's
by
been
orcs.
it's been eaten by orcs. There
Any
are
cow?
orc. Let's go ahead.
Any of the JB? Did you get the cow hide? Release some strips.
I can.
All right.
I can. We just sort of ended combat and
Oh, okay. I thought you told me you went towards the cow.
no, I just made a joke about it. But I can certainly get some cow strips if I'm asked to do so.
Yeah, I mean there are bodies laying around everywhere, of course. But Ren, you're able to get the mastiff, out, and away from the body. Now, Brother Rygar, I know you said that you want to do some blessings, but you kind of were working with the animals as well. Tuctrin, did you want to do anything in that regard as well? I mean, given that you're also a priest.
Yeah, like I said, I was going to help any of the animals that are too far gone that I don't think will survive on their own. I was just going to help, put them out of their misery, basically.
Okay. And then what about the man?
The dead man?
Yeah.
So I thought Brother Rygar already read him.
Yeah, he's going over to him. It took a little bit for Ren to get the dog out of there.
Yeah. Brother Rygar's already going to do it. That's fine. He's a human, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's doing it. That's fine. What I will do though, while he's doing the rites, I'm gonna look around and see if this man had any food or treats around for his dog.
Yeah, I mean he does. He definitely has some food and treats. The dog is definitely domesticated. You see like a little water bucket like right out there.
Yeah.
There's
If
like a
I
little
see-
you see like a dog house around the back.
Yeah, if I see anything special that looks like he had for the dog, like a dried pig's ears, whatever, I would bring it over to Ren and
Yeah.
try to give it to the dog.
It looks like maybe like over the winter or something. He might have like killed another sheep, because you see like a giant like like you see some bones, like a big mutton chop and like a big like you kind of see that stuff around. This like there is some like it looks to you like the dog was real. I mean, you're not like a dog guy necessarily, but it looks like he was well taken care of, like almost a family member.
Right. So I'm gonna, if he has any treat like that, I'm gonna go ahead and see if that'll help with the dog at all.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think pig's ears is perfect, like something like along those lines and bones.
Definitely.
So you go over there and Ren's kind of taking care of them as well. What about anything else?
Aside from that, I am going to. I actually want to do like a perimeter walk. Try to keep an eye out, see if there's any more orcs hiding in the brush, or maybe some other kind of creature that's traveling with the orcs. They don't always travel alone, and I don't trust orcs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm definitely gonna go keep an eye out and just kind of see what I see. Like, we've never been here before. This is a homestead in the middle of nowhere. We see one dead body. Did this guy live out here by himself? Maybe there are other bodies around other buildings or outhouses, or maybe he had a wife and child that he had run away and he tried to get the orcs' attention, kind of like I did, and they ran. See if they're hiding out in the tree line somewhere. Just kind of look for that kind of thing.
In that same vein, as I'm finishing up with the cow strips, I'm going to be looting the orcs and seeing if there's anything that they might have on them that would indicate where they came from, if there's any more, why they're here, or if it was just some sort of random attack.
Yeah, okay.
And anything valuable too. Because
yeah, I rolled the treasure. So it's you loot the bodies. You find 35 copper pieces. Don't spend them all in one place. 28 silver pieces. But well, I guess he's old no eyes. What did you call him? Blinky or something like that?
Winky.
Winky, however, had a small pouch within which are 3 gems. Do you don't have appraisal yet?
No, as soon as I go up a level, I'm going to take appraisal.
All right, I'm going to tell you what the gems are.
Okay.
Anyway.
I do have appraisal.
Are you going to show Brother Rygar the
I'm
gems?
going to, because it's going to be better for everybody if I cooperate.
We roll them each, or one for all 3?
I'm gonna roll for each. I love the Forgotten Realms Adventures gems list in the back. I like to make real gems, like each one is unique. Not unique, but like it's a real gem. All right, so go ahead and roll me. Yeah, roll for each. Roll 3. And tell me if you made them.
I got the first one and I missed the other 2 by 20.
You got
I rolled 2 20s.
Jeez.
Yeah. Fucked up or what?
Save those for combat.
Yeah, no shit.
All right, so those are going to be misidentified.
Those are the magic stones. What are you doing?
All right, so
at least got one of them.
They're
all right, roll me
He's gonna go, here's stones for your sling, man. These are worthless.
Let's see here. What's the check on appraisal?
Appraisal is intelligence
Straight
plus
up?
+2.
+2. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I get a +2 on that.
Yeah,
so
but if you roll a 20, you fail.
Yeah, I failed, yeah. But that's neat that I get a +2 on it.
Yeah, but 2 nat 20s. Yeah, so like JB, go ahead and roll an intelligence check, please. And do a -2.
Intelligence -2. All right, so I got a 14 intelligence, so I got to get under 12 or under. All right, if I'm ever gonna roll a 1. 2.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, so Brother Rygar, you're like, these 2 gems are worthless, and you hand them back to JB, and you're like, JB, you're like, nah, these aren't worthless. Like, these are worth something. You don't know what, because you don't have appraisal. I gave you an untrained appraisal check just now, essentially, is what you just did. But like, he hands them back to you as if they're like worthless glass junk, and you're like, I'm pretty sure these are worth something, and you're like, you want to hold on to them. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to throw those away. The other one is the one JB. Brother Rygar. Roll me did you already roll me a percentile?
No, I need to roll a.
Yeah, roll me a percentile.
Was that 2 10s?
Yeah, D100.
38.
All right, so, you find the other gem. You're like, wow, this is very valuable. It's an opal. It's smooth. It's a smooth gemstone. It's pale blue in color and has like green and gold mottlings, and like beautifully polished, perfectly circular. Like, you look at it and you're like, wow, this is like one of the nicest gemstones you've ever seen, and you would guess its value of 1,000 gold pieces.
You gotta find for this one. It is exquisite. It's 1,000 gold pieces.
Cool. All right, I'm at level 4.
All right, so what about the rest of you?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna pocket all of it, but I'm going to tell the people what I found on them, because it's just not worth hoarding for myself.
No, I mean, and everybody sees you fucking looting the bodies. Ren, you're handling the dog.
And
Tucker,
no
you're
sleight
walking
of
around.
hand check? Terrible.
Grey Ash, what are you doing?
I'm trying to find a ladder to get on the roof of the house to
Right,
like,
you're
keep
climbing
an eye
up on
out.
the roof. Yeah, you can. You don't even need a ladder. Like, the way that his things are positioned, it's really easy to get up onto the house one way or another. It's like a storage shed plus the fence.
I'm just keeping a lookout for flying creatures that want to kill us, or more of these things.
How do you know if it wants to kill you or not?
If it exists,
it
it wants to
exists,
kill us.
so it does.
All right, so you don't notice any of the giant flying creatures that are not trying to kill you in your estimation. So, but several dragons fly overhead, and like a griffin. It's just like,
Yeah,
Griffin,
but it's not
follow it.
actively trying to kill you. No, you don't see anything. I'll get to your last rites here in a second, Brother Rygar, but let's go move over to Tucktrin. So Tucktrin, you kind of start doing this, like, sort of walking around the area. You don't notice any other orcs or anything at all, but you do notice, as you're moving about, you see like there's kind of like a small little glade, and there is a. Do you have religion?
I do.
Make a religion check.
Alrighty. Religion is a wisdom check. That's a 14.
Okay, so
So made
you
about 4.
see, yeah, you see like a large kind of stone that looks a bit out of place, like looks like it's been drawn over here, and into it are somewhat nicely done but very simple markings, which like are old kind of they're blessings in like the old faith, like the druidic, like nature based kind of faith,
Okay.
to denote a like a spouse or a partner, and to like draw them into like in peacefully beyond into the spirit world.
Okay.
You figure the person that did this probably can't read or write, but they know, like this is the kind of symbol that would be on like.
It's like a grave marker.
Yeah, it's a grave marker, but it's the kind of grave marker that you would find in like, amongst these kind of people who don't read or write, and
Right.
that kind of thing. It's just in this nice little glade. There's only one stone. Seems to be indicating one person's death. Other than that, you kind of like see it, looking around. You can kind of see which direction that the orcs came from, to get to this area. Well, actually, they were kind of moving in the direction from you, so you sort of moved off from there. But, some traipsing around. But for the most part, it looks like they found this place and just stormed it, essentially,
I gotcha.
in great numbers.
All right.
So there isn't like you get to a place where you're like, all right, there's nothing around here. Even like not even because the orcs are not careful. You know what I mean? They're not like
Right.
Like they're just stomping all around, and it's a little bit muddy. So
Okay, so I would like to say a prayer at the stone for them, for whoever this was, because they're obviously going to be rejoining their loved one soon. And then I would like to go back to Brother Rygar and let's see, and Ren, and bring them over there. I want to go back and tell you guys I found a small glen with a stone marker, most likely signifying a lost loved one, perhaps a wife or a daughter of this person. Some kind of marker to an older god of nature of some type, seemingly something humans worship. This may be, if we were to bury this person, this may be a good place to do it. But I would like for you to look at it first, because this is, I've heard of this deity slightly, but it is a little bit outside of my area of knowledge.
Yeah, I just say Alona, and I head back and see if I can find a shovel.
yeah, you find some garden tools and stuff that you could use for sure.
Mhm.
And like a pickaxe, and there's probably a shovel in there.
And as we walk that way, I'm going to point out the tracks that you said I saw, and it seems that the orcs kind of came from this direction, which I don't believe is the direction we're heading in. So,
Brother Rygar, real quick before we go too far into this, so you're kind of going over there, like looking over the body, and I guess Tuckdrin comes at this point. So you're like, we'll say, we won't do the play out the last rites then. Now, obviously, if you're gonna go bury it, yeah. So
I could go to where he said and use my religion and see if that way I get the rites correct.
yeah. Ren, I'm gonna say too, like okay, so first of all, you start heading over there. Ren, the dog pads behind you. He just like follows you.
Oh god.
The mastiff. And so he follows behind you, follows you along. He's kind of following you around now. Do you have religion, Brother Rygar?
Yes, and I got it with a 7.
Okay, and I'll say I was going to give you a bonus too, just because of what Tuckdrin had already given to you. I was going to give you a +2 bonus, so you made it. I mean, this is like the old faith. This is like the kind of lay people who are out on the fringes, away from the cities and things like that, away from kind of modern religion. It's like folklore and all that kind of stuff. Ren, I would say, you like again, like that falls under Alona's purview. This is like Alona takes care of these people. Yeah.
Back to the
they don't call her Alona, and it's not like, to them it wouldn't be the same person if you described it, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
after the hole's dug, I go into the cabin, see if I can find a blanket and carry the body down.
Yeah, you find his blanket.
I'll even play my flute for appropriate rites.
Okay.
Yeah, the inside of the house is simple. He's got, a number of kind of dried herbs hung. Anybody have herbalism?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoever has herbalism would know, like, hey, these are some useful herbs. Like herbs, they're
I made a check.
stuff for healing and things like that. So useful herbs. And and so there's some stuff you can take that'll help you when you're doing your healing and stuff like that. Some stuff that'll like maybe make some good tea for stomach ailment, or if stuff that maybe like helps you sleep, or there's
How many
like,
applications would you say?
I'm just gonna say it falls into your herbalism kit. So like if you want to do herbalism stuff, you have some herbs.
Okay.
So just put pack of rustic herbs. Put it that way. Like there's value to it, but it's just like it's not. Nothing of it is really special in that sense. He doesn't have any weapons. There's a staff in there. Some modest cooking supplies. I would say that he does have some, just a bit of canned food, and dried meats and rations and stuff as well. Probably the leftovers from the winter. Not a lot, but there is some that you could take. Doesn't have any money. No need for money. So you take the body over, Ren. You wrap up the body in his blanket, his lone blanket, and on the blanket there's like a piece of tied up rope, Ren, that the dog, whose name you don't know and probably never will, the mastiff, like grabs up into his mouth and follows you along as you take his master to the glade. On the holes there. How would you like to proceed?
Well, just laying the body in the hole and stepping back and kneeling down on the ground with the dog. I'll let Brother Rygar take over.
I'll do the rites appropriate for it, and then I'll also bless him with Nola's light. And then, like I said, I can also play the flute, an appropriate, flute tune to the type of ritual, if they had music.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, that's cool. So you do that, and you definitely, like, the glade has a sense of peace about it, and you get the sense when you're finished that his soul is at rest, and you've avoided any issues with any unfinished business or anything like that. So you feel fairly confident by the end of it that his soul will go on to stand aside his unnamed wife. But meanwhile, the dog is kind of like laying there on the mound, and then kind of looking to you too, Ren. But it's that your business here is somewhat concluded.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
Oh, I stand up and go back up to the house. If the dog follows, but
yeah, grudgingly, like, he kind of looks back at his master's grave a couple times, but eventually, he gets back up and pads after you. You would say the dog is relatively young, like pretty much full grown, but like could use maybe a little meat on the bones still, to fill out a little bit. Still kind of a younger dog.
Question: the direction we were heading in, versus the direction of the tracks. They're not the same. Like, or I mean, not the direction we're heading in. The direction the tracks for the orcs were heading in. If they would have kept in that direction after stopping at this place, would they have ended back where we came from in Hommlet, or would they have, like, what direction would they have been going towards? What's the name of this other place? Hold on. Nob.
Yeah. Well, it's really hard to tell based on the information that you have, because Nulb is quite a distance still. I forget exactly how far it is, but I think it's like several days. So you don't really have enough information to sort of gather that exactly. But I would say that it kind of just looks like a somewhat typical orc warband. The thing that makes you concerned, I guess I would say, is that you find this sort of little, for lack of a better word, standard with this Black Fist, and whether the Black Fist orcs are a group of these 11 guys who are all dead now, or if they're part of something bigger. And this is pretty close to Hommlet, really. I mean, you're at this point like 4 hours away from Hommlet.
Can I try my dwarven history to see if I know anything about this Black Fist? Are they like prolific enemies or something like that? Or
I mean,
orcs are enemies, but there are all kinds of different orcs and orc gods and.
It's local history, is it?
It's local dwarven history. So like if they were like, it's history as I would know it from the dwarven perspective in this area.
I want to check and see.
So if not, that's cool.
Like, is local history really quick? I just want to check because I'm wondering if local history includes. I actually have the proficiencies open right now. So okay, so I'm going to tell you right now that, all right, go ahead and make a check. Tell me what you get.
I rolled an 8.
That's a wisdom-based skill?
It's a charisma-based skill, actually.
Oh, so how much did you make it by?
It's a charisma +2, so I made it by 9.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I'm just going to say, because this is like really obscure, that you would probably know that this name rings a bell, and as one of the many kind of annoying, or like one of the many troubling orc bands, mercenary companies, kind of like bandit companies, mercenaries, or whatever, war bands, that you've heard about. Like that, it's not like you've heard about it, but it's like
I don't know anything specific, but I just assume this
there's
looks
a
like
lot
an
of
orc
these
gang.
kind of things, and it's usually, if they have a standard, it usually means that there's probably more. Like,
I gotcha.
They don't start having a symbol when it's just a dozen of them.
Okay.
And even like the complexion of these guys, it didn't look like they were. God, how would I put it? You guys did really well on this, but just knowing orcs, I will say, like, you wouldn't think that these would be. Like, there wasn't a strong enough member among them that you would think that would be able to hold this group together if there wasn't something more somewhere else.
Like this is just like a little scouting party that got sent out.
Yeah, exactly. Something along those lines. Or just like, orcs will send out just like literally like groups of just like raiding parties. It'll just like,
right.
Basically make people's lives miserable.
Yeah. So basically, I'm going to relay that to everybody. I'd say, well, from the looks of this banner, I believe that This might have just been some raiding party, part of a larger group, but I'm not really sure. Orcs tend to operate like that. I would think that we shouldn't linger too much longer.
All right, so I'm assuming you guys are going to get moving on here in a second. We've gone over 2 hours without a break, so why don't take a quick bio break, even though we only have 45 minutes left in the session, but let's take a quick bio break, and then we'll see what we can get to before our evening comes to an end. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right.
I'm back.
So, Bud, you're playing in playing in the Cthulhu game, right? Nick's Cthulhu game.
Yes.
How is it going?
Oh, it's actually fun. It's pretty good.
I wish I could play in that game. I think Nick is a great Cthulhu keeper. I think he does such a good job.
Yeah. I've played in a few games with him, mostly one-shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he likes to make me go insane and try to kill me. But it's all good.
So my my Blade Runner RPG just came in.
Whoa.
We were just talking
We were
about
yeah,
that.
I was like, wait a second here. Maybe we can get somebody to run this game for
Yeah,
us.
no shit.
Mick.
I have the starter set and the core book. I did the Kickstarter on it, the pre-order on it.
Nice.
You gonna run it?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
I think you've already got 2 players. here.
Yeah, I'll play it.
So I've got those. I also got the One Ring starter set and book.
Nice.
So I haven't looked through those yet. And then Forgotten Lands or Forbidden Lands.
Forbidden Lands. Oh, dude, I really want to try Forbidden Lands.
I've
It's
got it
like
if
an
you wanna read
advanced hex crawl. Like it's hex crawl, but like the next iteration, kind of. I think is the way people think of it.
I gotcha. I also have Giant Lands.
Oh, you really? Did that come out recently?
It came out earlier this year, finally,
Okay.
from
I
Gygax.
remember they were all.
Yeah, it's
It was a
it's not great. It's okay, but it still feels kind of like it's very like first edition D&D unfinished. Like, but it's supposed to be, right? It's in the small little box and all that, like the old white box. If you remember the white box D&D,
Mhm.
it's like the story is almost like Rifts. Like if you ever played Rifts from Palladium.
It's been a while, but it's like you mean way over the top.
Well, no, and the fact that there's like aliens and stuff like that, and it's basically like there were giants that roamed the earth, and then a bunch of split happened. It's like it's a very kind of weird storyline. It's fantastical fantasy in a way, but with a really like raw rule system. Like so, it's something that I think would be fun for the right people that want to deal with that level of crunch. Not that it's rules heavy, but the rules that are there, just the way that it's presented. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to let you read it.
Well,
I'll let you flip
if
through
it's not very good, considering how many games I have to deal with, I'm not gonna read it.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a white box actually until I sold it like maybe a year or so ago, 2 years ago. It was cool, but I was also like, I just have this thing. Like, what am I doing with it? I'm not
Right.
playing. You know, like
I
don't
have-
really.
Yeah, I've got I just completed my set of Conan.
Oh,
RPG.
really?
Well,
Like the
Modiphius-
original one, the original.
No,
Conan?
the Modiphius.
Oh yeah.
So they their time with it is over, and
Oh,
now
really?
it's going to the maker of the board games, and they're going to make their RPG out of it. So they had this huge sale. So I have the complete set of books. So if we ever want to do Conan, I have those
Fuck,
too.
I would love to play Conan, dude. I love Conan. I've read all the Robert Howard books. I've read all of the Howard books. I've read all of the Robert Jordan books. I read some of the other stuff. I've read some of the comics.
I have the
love Conan.
so I have all the books and like all the accessories crap, and I've got the cards. I mean, it's stupid. Like it's really good though. But the starter adventure that's in the base book is actually pretty cool, and the one that's in the GM screen.
That's actually my favorite type of fantasy. That it's still fantasy, but it's kind of like gritty and minimal magic. Like the magic is
The low magic sword and sorcery.
yeah. I love that's my favorite kind to play in personally. I haven't really found one that's great to run. I would probably run. I think
I-
Ironsworn is pretty good at
I
that.
tell you what, I think you'd probably like the 2D20 system.
I have the Star Trek
Adventures.
intro box. Yeah, Star Trek, but it's just the box, like the box set, the intro box set, which actually has a lot. You can play a lot on that game, and,
Well,
and
I've
it's good. I read it, but I just haven't had time to play it.
Yeah, same. I have the base book for that, and I've got the Klingon book and like 3 other books for that too.
Now, I have like all the books because there was a what is it? A Humble Bundle.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I ended up like getting all the books.
Yeah,
you
I've got the
know.
PDFs. I like the physical.
I like the
book.
physical book too. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you mean. Anyway, let's not dick around on this. We only got a little bit of time left. So, so Ren, the dog continues to follow you around. You finish burying the man. You've gathered up what herbs were useful, any of the rations, stuff that you wanted. You've looted the orcs. What would you like to do next? Ren, you do know the you still have the trail for the, you can still follow the signs of the Wyvern. That's not a problem if you want to continue on that. And it's still relatively early. I mean, this stuff seems like it takes forever, but you probably have been here for half an hour, 45 minutes, really, Maybe a bit, maybe an hour, we'll say, because you did bury somebody.
Oh yeah. We were there for a while. But I'm pretty much asking the group this: do we want to stay here and set out bait? I don't know how much we could kill a wyvern. We have the sheep. Sorry for the sheep, but if we leave the sheep behind, it's going to die anyway. Something's going to come kill it. Or we could even take the sheep with us, set bait somewhere else as a distraction, and then get into the lair. What are we thinking? That's
perhaps. Is anyone here familiar with the plants of this area?
No, but Brother Rygar can find anyone within 120 yards.
If anyone is able
Full
to
circle.
If anyone here is able to concoct some type of nauseous concoction or maybe poisonous concoction, perhaps we could put it on the wool of the sheep and use the sheep as bait. And if this thing was to take the sheep, it could perhaps disorientate it, weaken it.
Yeah, would I know if a wyvern is immune to poison?
You have animal lore?
No. I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, you can make an untrained animal lore check, I guess. I think that's -4.
-4.
Mm-hmm. So animal lore is actually how.
Yeah, what is that, intelligence or wisdom?
So I was just about to look.
It don't matter. I got a 15. I'm pretty sure if it's -4, it's going to miss everything.
Yeah. No, you don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Okay, so I wouldn't know that anyway, so continue. Guess the one to ask is Brother Rygar.
I would think it would be more like a brewing skill instead of
Alchemy or brewing, yeah.
anything else like that. To make poison would be a brew.
I mean, I think herbalism would play a role.
I've got herbalism. I could try it.
You know what mushrooms might make us loopy or not?
Loopier.
I stand corrected.
Let's see. So herbalism, it says they can also produce natural, also can prepare natural plant poisons and purgatives. DM must decide the exact strength of such poisons on the poison rules in the DMG. So I
missed my check by. Oh, wait a minute. I missed it.
Okay. Then you're not. You just. I mean, you didn't fail like on a 20, so I would say that you're like, Tucktrin's suggestion. Like you could probably make something, but you're like looking around and you just don't think this area has any of the ingredients that you need.
It was just an idea. I just kind of like walk away.
It's a really good idea, actually, but so yeah. So you're kind of all hanging around out there. The stench of orcs is starting to get not great.
I could take enough goat meat so we won't have to use up any of our dry rations. We can eat goat meat tonight.
Didn't you have poison from the snake still?
Oh yeah, someone had snake poison.
Not me.
I still have some.
Yeah, but say I think JB got the sacks.
Might be handy.
How many poison sacks did you get? Was it 1 or 3 or what was it? I forget.
We got-
Doses?
We got 3 doses altogether. According to my sheet, I have 1 dose, which means
You used
someone else took the others.
Oh. Not me.
Not me.
And I kind of feel like 1 dose of snake venom is not going to be enough to kill a wyvern.
The poison did 2d8.
2d4. I got
2d4
2d4/1d3.
Yeah, the D3 is the saving throws made.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like you've got 3 doses.
Yeah, I mean, just an idea. You know, maybe ingested it'll do more. You know, who knows? Or it does nothing.
It's an injected type. It might do. I'm gonna put that on an arrow or something.
So which way do we want to proceed? We want to set up camp here, bait. Is the sheep really damaged? Is it limping?
The sheep is pretty much fine.
Okay. Or
Like,
take
we'll
the
say
sheep
maybe
with
it
us?
had like a stab wound on its leg, but you were able to like bandage it up, or whoever was working on the. We'll say Brother Rygar was able to bandage that one up.
All right. Then we can save the ass for the cart.
There was a donkey.
Didn't we have a cart with an animal?
With a mule, yeah.
So, or we
Well,
can just go in without bait or anything.
I am down 2 spells. I've only got Bless and Command. But I can change those into 2 Cure Light Wounds. So, I mean,
Well,
I'm up for continuing or staying to, but,
what about how much daylight do we have left? Can we tell?
Yeah, I mean it's probably like it's like 1 or 2. So you probably have a good 4 hours of daylight still.
Right, and it was supposed to be a day's
half
travel
day's-
to
a
get
half
where we were
day's
going,
journey.
right?
half days.
Half days.
So you're
journey,
not
right?
even far. Like
Yeah.
you think you're basically approaching the region.
Okay. Well, if we believe we can get there with enough daylight left, then we should just go ahead and continue on, I would think. But if we're going to run out of daylight, I don't think that would be optimal.
Okay.
I mean, it really depends on what our primary focus is right now. If we're staying laser focused on the wyvern, then yeah, let's keep on moving. But if we want to, side quest and look for these orcs, then this is a good home base. But, we can also just file that away for after the wyvern eggs.
Yeah.
True.
Do we feel we can kill the wyvern? We don't know. We know the size about.
I have never seen a wyvern.
Neither have I.
I haven't seen a wyvern myself either.
Okay, what do I know of the wyvern other than 35 feet long, pretty powerful from what the guy was telling me?
Yeah.
He was telling me
Wait,
that was
somebody was
pretty going to
telling
be
you.
pretty hard to kill.
You,
The one
learned
guy's
some-
son. Yeah, the one guy's son was telling him.
Yeah. What's his name?
Oh gosh.
God, I'm drawing a blank here.
Yeah,
It's
me too.
Stupid. Elmo.
Do the voice.
Oh God. No.
Jeez.
No, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
All right, so I would say that you know that they have a stinger, which injects deadly poison. You don't want to stay away from it. They love to attack from the air. Again, they'll turn an area into a wasteland. They'll totally overfeed it. Like they waste tons of meat. you know, like kill an animal, and like sometimes they'll just kill something and just kill it, like for no reason, basically. Their patterns in terms of like hunting are a bit unpredictable. But they're once they go to an area, they will not leave until it's decimated. They typically layer in caves. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much what you would know.
And then I would
stay away from the, you know, the claw. They have like, you know, deadly claws. And...
Yeah.
So maybe we start hunting for the most desolated part of this area.
They kind of work outward. So yeah, the closer we get to dead, the most likely we're going to be at least closer to their hunting ground. But we have heard them coming down this far and further, or the one. Okay, so setting up baiting something here would be a bad idea. Is what you're thinking? Or, you know, we leave the sheep. The sheep's gonna die. Some animal's gonna come kill it. It doesn't matter to me. That's just the nature's way. Or we just go look for the wyvern. What you guys thinking?
I'm good either way, to be honest.
Yep, I'm good either way.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
go get the wyvern.
then well, we have this place to fall back on. We can go scout out for the wyvern. We can at least maybe get a sense of where it is or how big it is, or we could do a little reconnaissance. I think Ren would be good at that.
Yeah.
The thing with the wyvern, if we can deal with it, then we don't have to worry about having to deal with it while we're dealing with something else.
Exactly.
That's fair.
So we need to scout it out, find out where it is, what's going on with it.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Onward.
So then, Ren,
Before
go
we
ahead.
onward, would it be a good idea to take these orc bodies and burn them?
Yeah,
No.
if this is going to be our base, we need to get rid of them. They'll start stinking.
Start.
They might even bring in carrion eaters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
they
don't
smell bad. I mean, they smelled bad before they were rotting, before they were dead.
I
Now they're-
agree with that
Can we
statement.
redcon this and say while we were burying
Smelly
the bottle, somebody else was doing that?
That's fine by me.
That's
fine by
fine
me
with
if
me.
you guys are
I
okay
didn't
with
want to
that.
be anywhere near that little circle of magical rocks.
I'm happy to set orcs on fire.
Oh, by the way, everybody that gets hit dice gets 11 hit dice for that fight. Hit dice XP. It's 11.
Sweet.
All right, so you head on out, and Ren, go ahead and give me another tracking roll.
Nine.
Oh God, that's good. All right, so you head into the you head further on. You're following, you know, broken branches, and like, you know, you find like a couple of like you find like a deer that's been like stung to death, and like there's like a bite out of its neck, and it's just like dead, just like totally senseless, you know, killing. And you know, you see other signs, and eventually you kind of get into this area where there are these kind of I almost want to call them like well, there's sort of like these there's like these dynamic valleys and kind of plateaus of woods and stone. And you get to a place where you see kind of your trail comes to an end, and you look up, and there's kind of this rising cliffside. It's like a hill, like a very steep hill, I guess you might say, more than really like a cliff. It could be climbed, but it's kind of a very steep hill. You see this cave that is like, pierces into the side of this rocky hill, and it's pretty clear to you after having followed this creature and making 2 successful tracking checks that this is likely the lair of the Wyvern. And I apologize to those who are listening or watching the stream, but I have put the new map up on the Roll20. So essentially, you end up kind of like approaching this from the west, heading east a bit, and again, there's like a rising hill, and then there's kind of a bit of a ledge, I guess you might say, like a kind of a wide ledge. You really can't see up on the ledge from down below, but you do see a cave entrance, and it's sort of tough for me to point this out on the map without revealing stuff you probably shouldn't see, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'll draw like a kind of an arrow into where the cave entrance is. Can you see that on the map?
Yeah, can see it.
Yes.
But that's like, you can also tell that there is like a wider ledge around there. Here.
I'm seeing this off the map though. I'm not that close, right?
Yeah, of course. Yes,
Okay.
You're off the map. Exactly. But you can see this at a distance. You're further to the west.
Mhm.
I mean, you can see this from pretty far away. There are several of these kind of things, like, and I don't want to make it look like this, but it's like, it's like peaks and valleys and stuff like that, kind of rising. Kind of the last remnants of what this probably was a really mountainous area at one time. But there's still these like kind of last remnants of these things. But you see the open maw cave there distant, and you can see by like some tree branches and kind of gouges in some of the stone nearby and things like that all lead you to believe that this thing is probably living within that space.
Okay. Depending on how far.
And there's a couple, but I'll say there's bones too, like littering the bottom of the, again, I don't really want to call it a cliff, but the bottom of the steep hill, like there's like
is
bones.
it like a ravine?
Yeah, like, have you ever been like mountain climbing in a place where the mountains aren't that tall? Like the kind of mountain you can climb in like an hour or two.
Me,
so they're smaller mountains.
No, Tuctrin, yes.
So they're not like, I don't want to say the word mountains, because I think when people think of mountains they're like big, but really it's like kind of these like,
is it like a
foothills.
crag?
They're hills, but they're
Foothills.
like foothills.
It's a crag.
Crag. Yeah.
Foothills and a crag. That's exactly what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
How did Brother Rygar get JB's dog?
Because I don't have any animal handling skills.
and
I
JB,
just like dogs.
you have to like tell the dog to stay back with the companions. Like it
Yeah.
wants to follow you, and you're like,
I didn't know we were using props.
Oh, so the dog followed us, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the dog followed you all the way, kept following you, and then like it would have followed you off to like scout. But you were, you had to like, I should have played that out, but the dog like wants to follow you.
He likes Brother Rygar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Helps with the
Rygar, would
funeral
you?
and stuff.
Well,
No, if
he likes Ren, and he likes Tuctrin a little bit because Tuctrin brought over some pig's
True.
ears.
True.
But really only Ren he's like kind of like growls at the rest.
Yeah,
All right.
that's fine.
Depending
You
on
know,
how far
I
ahead
just
I
like
am,
dogs better than any people.
I'll fall back and tell them what I see.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, or at least point it out. I'm sure they can see it as soon as I point up and over, if they don't see it already.
Yeah, once you point it out, like, I mean, there's like there's a couple of other like fissures and like areas that could be like enclosures and stuff, but this is like most obviously like the biggest sort of cave in this area. And it wouldn't have been really easy to find because there are these foothills, so like you kind of had to come over the hill to be able to see, this layer. What was I gonna say? Yeah.
All right.
Guys, I'm gonna kind of suggest that we pause here.
Yeah.
Because we only have about 15 minutes left in the session, and well, first of all, it's awesome to end on a cliffhanger right before you're about to head into the lair of the Wyvern. That's really cool. But also, I don't want to rush this because it's fun. But let me give you XP for this time. So there was the orcs.
So how much is that for the non-fighter people?
What's coming out? Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to give you. So you got the 11 hit dice, but let's see. You gotta learn a spell. I wish it was more. 185 divided by 5, so that's 33 XP each. That's so pathetic. Well, I guess you guys didn't really have a lot of trouble with them, but still, 33 XP. And I'm going to give you each an additional. Well, here we'll say everybody gets another 20 because the dog survived. Hey, if the combat would have happened, the dog could have died. So you got kind of, because you did such a great job on the ambush, the dog could have died. So the dog survived.
That was
dog.
baby.
Yeah. I actually didn't expect a random encounter that I rolled for to start the session would have taken the whole session, but that's fine. And then I'll give everybody 100 XP for role playing. And does anybody want to like nominate somebody for like the, I guess you might say, MVP of the game for tonight?
Yes. I want to go Ren because regardless of how it usually turns out bad, he went ahead and went out first again. And if it wasn't for that critical perception check, things could have turned out way, way, way different.
Very different. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds good.
I agree. I was actually going to suggest Ren as well because I thought also that was a really good idea with like the baiting and all this other stuff was a good idea. Did you bring the bait? Did you bring the sheep or no? Or
They said scout ahead, so I figured we were scouting, and if we decided to do that, we were going to go back and get the sheep.
Okay.
We can plan that out now. Did we bring the sheep, guys?
I thought we brought the sheep to use as bait. I thought that was the whole point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it was about another hour.
I thought the sheep was in the cart.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The cart is empty right now, so it's not a bad thing. And Ren,
since,
you're as a ranger, you can automatically calm the sheep. Like you just calm it, so it's fine going in the wagon. So yeah, Ren.
Don't know what the other 2 gems are worth. I'm going to hold off on any of my treasure XP until we get back.
Ren, another 50 bonus XP then for the MVP of the session. Anything else that we forgot? Everybody get your non-weapon proficiencies, XPs and stuff.
I didn't use any this time. But I'm
I've
600
got all
XP
mine.
away from appraising.
Do you want to do the spell? Is the creature in the cave spell? Locate animal? Do you have it?
I didn't really
You didn't
pray for it. I didn't pray for it. So.
It's because it was like crazy spell.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, great. Then, if you guys got all that, let's. I don't know. So, Pete, you couldn't play in 2 weeks. Is that right?
No, I'm going to be in Virginia.
And then what about the rest of you guys?
After the 23rd, I can play anytime, any day, to all the way to the 3rd.
I'm good right now. I don't foresee any issues on my part.
The 29th?
Yeah.
So
right now I'm good as of right now.
Yeah, I can play at any time.
So
Unless something
I'm good
we're
too.
doing
It's
next week
actually
too, right? Or no?
It's actually no, it wouldn't be next week.
Okay.
Because I can only get away with every other week.
Was it
Although I
10 or
always feel like
20% for high stat?
10.
thing?
It's 10.
10.
Yeah, I just go to the XP chart, take 10% off everything down the line, and just that way I don't have to do it every
That'd be an
session.
easier way of doing it.
Yeah, I do
That's
that
a
so I don't
good
have to do it
idea.
every session.
That's such a good idea. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that.
What was that?
I just
Yeah.
look at the XP chart for your class, take 10% off of the XP you need to be at, so that every game session you don't have to go, well, what's 10% of whatever. You just
Oh.
I just take 10% off the total number you need.
But yeah, so I'm good for 2 weeks. I mean, actually, I really. The only thing is, my only hesitation is, well, first of all, I think JB is very important
Oh yeah.
to sneaking in on something.
Yeah.
And you're gonna try to steal the eggs. So like,
Just don't call me Bilbo.
I mean, I don't know what you're planning on fighting. If you're gonna try to fight the thing and kill it, because I mean, there's extra bonus good things for potentially defeating. And I mean, there's a lot of XP involved too, just for killing it. But I don't know what you're gonna plan on doing that. But I don't really want to miss JB for this particular thing that's happening.
I mean, my thing is, when we hit like pivotal moments like this, like I'm fine waiting until everybody gets.
I am
loaded,
too.
To be honest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, what I was gonna say is like, yeah, okay, that sounds good.
You know,
I did hit 3rd level, by the way.
and
Nice.
I hit 2nd level in my pre-side finally.
Wow. Okay. Good. Good.
Uh,
That's awesome. That's good
yeah.
time.
And
I mean, I know it was a ton of XP, but I know you guys were all really getting close.
I'm pretty sure I'll hit 4th level next session.
So how do you do learning of new non-weapons? Do I go back and train or what?
I say if it makes sense, you just learn it, unless you want
Okay.
something like stupid or something that makes like no sense. Like, oh, I want to have learned the gnome language. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, well then you got to go get a trainer. But like, if it's just something you would be doing, like I'm gonna say Ren's gonna get appraisal when he levels up. Like he's been looking at treasures and stuff and like playing it. Like it would be fine for him to take that, you know. And I would say if you can justify it within the context of your character, then I'm fine with it. So like if there's not proficiency that you want, just every now and then say, I'm trying to like learn. You know, whatever. I watch. You know, so and so do this, or you know, I put on a blindfold and practice fighting, or you know, like something like whatever you're doing. You know, whatever you're trying to learn.
I can add a plus to the ones I've got, right?
You can add a +1 instead. Yeah.
Is
But
that
now when proficiencies don't go up, like it's like 4th level, 3rd level for you, right? 3rd or 4th level.
it's every 3 levels
Yeah.
for non-weapons.
Yeah. So
For weapons, it's every 4. So I
you
get
can
I
put
get
a
a new,
+1 on something, but you can also get a new one. You know. Whatever.
Okay.
But just
I'll
like
think
you
about
know,
it.
make it smart. Like don't make it like totally out of character.
I wouldn't mind putting a
it's a
+1
problem,
on my
I mean.
herbalism.
I mean, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Been using it a lot.
I hit 2nd level. Whee!
Woohoo! So only Grey Ash.
Close.
Close remains behind. Just cast a few spells before you go to sleep or something.
You're so close, man. We got to get those. We got to get XP for you, man.
I cast Reckless Dreamer.
And I think I get to cast 2nd level spells now.
Are you 3rd level?
Yes.
You get-
You're 3rd level. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, you get 2nd level spells.
And I get a bonus one too, so I get 2 seconds.
Oh, dude, that's such good timing.
I
Yeah.
was saving a spell expecting to like fight the thing today. Well, it's still today.
I expected you guys to fight the thing today too. Like I was just a random encounter that I rolled. Like I didn't expect it to be so like
I don't know if we're going to
extensive.
be sleeping.
They
so
hit a
still
dog. We
fine.
needed to make sure they were all dead, and we have made the ground wet with their blood.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and actually, I should say, Ren, if you want to take the dog as an animal companion, you have the ability to take animal companions, I believe.
Yeah, as followers.
I don't think it's like considered like a follower. I think it's. Am I right about this?
That's how I've read it. Animals, like rangers, can have followers. Animals.
Yeah, they can have followers and animals at certain levels.
Yeah, but it's like. Let's see here.
Mhm.
Skilled woodsman. Moving silently.
Okay, because of my
Actually,
whatever
technically,
it is.
don't have to choose your species enemy until you reach second level. But anyway,
yeah. But anyway, as long as the animal, because of me being a pathfinder, has to be able to move at my speed or faster than me. It's the only thing.
well, the dog can move faster than you.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
I would think so. I'll think on it.
I mean that I mean, the dog is like. It might not be a companion in the sense that a follower, like the 10th level follower thing.
Mhm.
But I mean, the dog will be your dog. You know what I mean? Like you
Right.
literally tamed or
Well,
you.
it's already tamed, kind of.
Yeah, he was a domesticated animal that you use your ranger ability on. So
Yeah.
like the animal's just like following you around. So you can free it, or you can give it away, or you can have it as a dog and name it
Right.
something like dog.
But I'll have to take time with it, with training it and stuff like that.
It actually is trained. The dog is like, it's a trained animal.
But is it a trained hunter or it's just a
I
trained
might.
dog, house dog? I would
Yeah.
assume hunter, at least security wise.
Yeah, I would too, actually. This guy wasn't a hunter though. He was a hermit more than anything. Well, let's talk about it though. I mean, we can figure it out. You can maybe train him to hunt, do stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool. All right, guys. Well, that was fun. Gosh, man. So no game in 2 weeks. You want to try to do 3 weeks then?
3 weeks works for me.
God,
It
that's
works.
so brutal. 3 weeks feels so long when we.
So that's January the 5th.
So before we go though, could we
Yeah,
play
we
next
do a
week?
one-off or
January
something.
5th, yeah.
I mean, I could.
Could you
I
guys
could play next
week?
week.
Let me see here. Next week is.
We can
22nd.
also play another game. I could run a game if you wanted to.
Yeah, we
You want to
could
run
do
a
either-
one-off? You want to do a one-off?
Yeah, we could
Nick,
either do
in
a
2
one-off.
weeks.
You
I'll
want to
take a.
what, like a Cthulhu game? I can't run a Dungeons and Dragons game, but I can run a.
Well, okay. First of all, can people play next week?
Yeah, I think I can.
Yes.
What about you, Pete?
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes.
You,
All right, well,
would
let
you
me-
be
let me-
interested in Call of Cthulhu?
Well, I was going to say I'll run this again next week.
Okay, yeah.
Let me talk to my wife and see if that is cool. Like, because I would have played in 2 weeks, and we have I have a scheduled every 2 weeks thing. But since we can't play in 2 weeks and we can next week, I think that I might be able to work that out. So, yeah. So I very much think I can probably work that out. We have a sitter on Monday next week. We have a sitter all week. We have a lot of time together. So I think, and neither one of us has to work. So I think that it should be okay. So tentatively, I'm feeling good about that next week, guys, and we'll get to the Wyvern. But thanks for playing, and thanks everybody for tuning in. I've been putting the Discord in the description of these episodes. So if you want to join our Discord, which is actually Nick's Discord, but he and I are pretty much the main ones who are running games on there. Please do and interact with us. And I'm actually probably going to do a second game at some point soon. Maybe some old school essentials. Run some scenarios there.
Nice.
So, anyway, looks for some players for that. So,
Have you ever
All right.
played Dungeon Crawl Classics?
it's a D20. It's D20 essentially, isn't it? Is it-
DCC? Not really. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, yeah, but the level 0 adventures are a blast.
Oh, I want to do those. I've heard of that.
They're a blast.
Well, you got to run it for us, buddy.
I'll run one. I got a couple of them.
All right, because its dog is a 20th level druid. Oh my god. He didn't heal his master. Couldn't defend against some orcs. All right, guys. So hopefully next week I'll let you know as soon as I can. I'll talk to my wife in the next couple days and get it all straightened out. I think it's going to be fine. I think she'll be willing to watch the kid. So, good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in if you watched it.
Good
and
night.
Thanks, guys, for playing. We'll see you next.
Thanks for
Sounds
running
good.
it.
All right,
Later,
take care.
guys.